Hey, welcome back to Dynasty Scoring Post right through with me, Russ Fisher, Zachary. I can't do the fast talking thing. How you doing? Dynasty Grind, Wednesday, 9:30, post draft, and I am exhausted. Oh my god! Do the thing. I know what happened.
I don't know whether to laugh, to cry, or to go out and buy some micro machines. Like I'm just conflicted. You had everything all at once.
Oh, I just sorry. I'm updating that. I was doing something in my database which uses like every ounce of processing power I've got. I think that was the problem.
Yeah, but you like your computer, not your brain.
I forgot we were doing a show. I was just there listening to you while I was playing with my database, and you're like, "Oh, do a show." So I click.
Dude, don't play with your database in front of other people. Don't you have any manners?
Well, I was doing it to the side. I mean, it's not like I was doing it in your face or nothing. Post-draft deal. We've got like a million questions already. We should stop fighting around. Alec here was here before I was, and I was here early, my man. So let's see. Would you guys take Saquon Barkley? I'm assuming. Amari Cooper. I'm assuming Amari. The 210 for the 108, the 110, and the 212. No,
the 112.
He was 5th last year, so he's not. He's in the middle. It sucks, but.
I would rather have Barkley, Cooper, and the 210 for those picks. I would.
Yes.
Yeah, my feeling on it.
I mean, first
you're
of all,
not 5th anymore if those players do what they should.
That's what I do. But if it's not, then 1,000% the players. But like, if the 112 wasn't the 112 and it was earlier, I may say the picks just because. Like at the 108, in the 110, you could end up with like Olave and Pickens, and like the idea of that makes me happy. But at the 112, like we're getting Keyshawn Vaughn. I mean, we're getting Trey Sermon. I mean, we're getting James Cook. We're getting
so much better than either of those. But yes, point taken.
We're bolstering up this third running back, and it doesn't need to be done. And even still, I don't know who to take instead. Like. It's such a meh area at like the 112 where you have to kind of hope that something weird falls your way.
I mean, you're at the 112. Like you're looking at
Jahan Dotson.
I would say you're looking at some combination of Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, Christian Watson, George Pickens. Like that's the area.
Which I have seen
David Bell.
David Bell falls to the middle of the second, and it's very weird. A lot of the I've had 4 drafts go so far, and 3 out of the 4, the quarterbacks, not Pickett. Well, what are their names? Ritter and Willis go around the 1-2 turn.
That's wild.
Malik, let's see. In Trade Addicts 1, it was 2-1-2-2. In Trade Addicts 2, it was Willis at 111, Ritter at 113. TA3 doesn't count because it's embarrassing to talk about. It's not even me, and it's just like this guy has like 18 of the first 25 picks and just took quarterbacks at every pick he had in the beginning. So like Pickett at 3 and Willis at 4, Ritter at 7. Like, so we're just not going to count that draft.
He's just messing with you. It's like the J Mike Invitational just to mess with your ADP.
Well, there is in Trade Addicts 1, there was a guy who had, I think it's 6 of the first 7. Yeah, he just didn't have 5. So what he did was he took 4 straight wide. Like I guess he didn't care which running back he got because he took 4 straight wide receivers. The next guy took Hall, and then he took Walker. but he also took Sky Moore at 4. So he took Drake, Burks. I always feel like his name should be London Drake. I don't know why.
That would be better. I'd like him more.
London, Burks, Wilson, and then Sky Moore. And then Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, Pickens, Pickett.
I feel like the London Drake is like a Sesame Street character when they do the Scotland Yard and they're like, the London Drake.
Oi, London Drake.
But yeah, no, I would, Alex, take that. Like I would take Barkley Cooper, the 210 for that. I know you said you finished 5th last year. At the very worst, people are going to realize Barkley is starting again, and you'll be able to flip it. Like if you don't do well, and I think Amari Cooper is going to have a little bit of a resurgence in Cleveland because he'll be playing with the best quarterback that he's ever played with, assuming that Watson ends up, playing a majority of the season.
And also, if Barkley does well and Cooper does well, if you could turn each of them into a 23 first somehow, 2 23 firsts is better than those 3 22 firsts, or even like you probably aren't going to get a 23 first for Amari Cooper. That's, but like still, you'll be able to get one for Barkley, especially if he actually starts scoring well. So you'll be able to turn them into better stuff than those picks anyway.
Yeah, and you may end up with somebody like David Bell at that 210.
Yeah,
it could happen. So
it could happen.
Yeah, you can get that 210 a lot cheaper. I don't know. This seems like a lot of words for saying picks all day, every day. Like I wouldn't talk myself into this too hard. I'd be interested in trading into this draft, but I'm not giving you literally 2 starters for next season. Like if you're 5th and you add those 2 guys to your team, you're not 5th no more. You're competing for the play.
That is also a very good point. Like you're going to get a win or 2 out of it.
I'm not giving you my chance at winning for whether I get Olave at the 112 or not. Like, no. The second one, another one for you guys. Monty Rondell for the 112, 23 second and 23 third. Yeah, these trades feel like rookie season. To be honest, I have to admit at this point, Rondell's looking even less likely, but Monty is worth more than the 112. And the rest is just kind of...
Am I like the lone person worried about Montgomery? Like,
no, I am.
Explain concerned, I guess.
Okay, so Montgomery, workhorse back for however 2 years.
This will be
But he played 2 full
2019, 2020, 2021.
Right.
Yeah,
2 full years. During his 3rd year, gets hurt, misses a couple of games. Khalil Herbert comes in, looks good. Not like transcendent good, but good.
Yeah.
Good enough that he should have earned a role when Montgomery got healthy. Yes.
No, that's just running backs. That's literally what running backs do. They come in, they play, they go out back out when the starter
they leave.
Back.
They leave.
I was gonna say, but they went away from him like straight away. Like I like, if you want to say, buy Khalil Herbert for nothing, I would agree. But sell Montgomery
it's not
for
the
nothing.
Coaching staff that did that anymore.
Right.
So there's not to say that Montgomery walks in and is the workhorse anymore. Because Herbert's close to not equally talented, but like he looked good enough. He looked faster.
That's fine. I mean, he's a fine backup running back, but he's not David Montgomery. The question I have with David Montgomery is, now this is 2022, which means this is year 4.
Yeah.
Which means you're headed into a contract, which means this is about the time you want to start thinking about getting out of David Montgomery. I'm not sure that the 112 is where I wouldn't do it for the
112 though. That's the thing. Like, and I know Rondell's looking like a worse and worse lottery ticket, but I'd rather have the lottery ticket.
Well, and especially again, I assume, Alex, that this is your team that you finished 5th last year. So if you add Barkley, you add Cooper, and you keep Montgomery for another year, another run at it, that's going to be your best bet. If you trade Montgomery and get the 112, to me, you might as well take that other trade too. Like it's just full on punt. But
It'd be fun.
yeah.
Next
All right,
question.
I'm doing stuff, man. Like, don't pressure me. No, BJ Lee was agreeing with us basically on the Montgomery side of it.
But yes,
Silence of
Montgomery
the
is
Lamb.
worth more than that. I'm just I'm
get
weirded
you.
out by how
He's
much
a running back. I get it. It's weird. You don't want it. I
It's-
don't want it either.
Absolutely the time to pull that parachute, but Montgomery has been undervalued since he came out.
Yeah.
Literally since he came out.
Literally.
I think it was just once he actually did well at the end of 2 years ago.
He was the running back
Literally.
4 in that class to start, maybe 3. And then he came out and had a running back 1 season, and he was like RB 18. Like he's been undervalued his whole career, and I still don't think you can get value for him because he was a plodder. Because like all of the things that were said about him, but all the negative things that are said about Breece Hall because he wore the same shirt.
Sorry,
Peter, you gotta focus on the show here.
I'm trying to get Justin Ross in my ranks. It's important.
101, done, easy.
Done. I know, but I gotta add things because people want to see stats and stuff.
12.
Silence of the Lamb.
Well, you missed the
You
question
missed
of
one. 12
JMO
teams.
or
Weren't you
Super
guys
flex.
answering that while I was distracted?
No.
Come on. 12 teams super flex. Who are you taking at the 106 between Olave and JMO? You see, you can't give me a pick and then limit my options. Come on, silence.
especially
Like,
at the
I
6. There's
could
going to be a
take
few
whoever I
more
want.
players around there.
At the 106, I'm taking Drake London.
Yeah.
How's that for you?
I'm taking Breece Hall at the 106. I'm just saying.
No, London's still there for me. Still gone. Jameson Williams over Olave. I think that isn't it? It's not the 106. It's which ranks higher.
Yeah, if it's just between those two, JMO does go before Olave.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get Jameson Williams at 105, Olave at 107, with Drake London sandwiched in between.
23
Who do you
first.
have above him? Is it David Bell?
No.
I was going to say, as long as I'm not lower than anyone else than David Bell, I'm good. Rank whoever you want. Okay.
23 first. This is the 23 first. I don't even need to read the rest of this.
And Gabe Davis? I mean, clear winner.
Yeah. 23 first. So much the 23 first.
Rock Carter at the one. Who to take at 102 in a 1 QB draft? It's the same as if it's not a QB, as if it's a super flex this year.
Doesn't matter if it's super flex or not.
I'm taking Burks second overall. I've heard some whining, I'll call it, about maybe Walker. I get it, but that's the way I have it ranked. I have it Hall, Burks, then Walker. I think
wouldn't begrudge someone taking Walker just because
no.
RB scarcity around here, and it's Seattle. I get it, but yeah, I have the wide receivers next, and
I would be completely on board. I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. But
I almost
that's the way I would draft it. But Walker,
it's
a tier. It's a tier.
I want picks 2, 3, and 4, or I want none of them. I don't want to have to make a decision. That's really where I am. I want all of them or none of them because I can't. I don't know what to do.
I'm still going hard for Burks at 102.
Yeah, I mean Burks is
that's me. Like I'm just gonna stick by what I think of the player. I'm not gonna let all this factual nonsense explaining why he might not hit.
Like
just everybody might
derail me from my love.
That's it. Like all of them have that risk. There was not a player. Yeah, there was not a player in this class that I watched and I was like, "Yep, this is where I'm gonna plant my flag. This is the head and shoulders best player in the class. This is a can't miss guy."
I think that's the argument for Walker, though. I mean, almost that's it. Because, I mean, he's at least going to be a running back in Seattle that wants to run the damn ball, and he runs the damn ball real well.
Right, but that's
Seattle's defense is terrible. Seattle's offense is going to be terrible.
So they'll run more. It's just what they do. But yeah, like I said, I'm the one.
I wish I could argue that. I can't. And if you're going to trade your 102 for a 23 first, you should get a decent amount on top of the 23 first.
Yeah. Hey, Corey.
Just you.
Just me. Evening, lads. Where are you on Kirk, Renfrow as some cheap wide receiver?
Well, Kirk is the 102 behind Justin Ross.
There you go. Yeah, I love it. Hunter Renfrow's value, as we've spoken about before, it's a third because it's not a second. Well, it's definitely not. He should be valued as a first. His ADP and everything else will tell you as a first, but no one's giving a first. No one wants to take a second, so I call him a third. Like, it's difficult, but yeah, if you can get them cheap, sure. You'll
be able to play them.
Startable wide receivers. People hate startable players at wide receiver. At running back, startable running backs get drafted above wide receiver 12. But startable wide receivers, everyone's like, give me the upside. I want the young guys who might be even better. It's kind of crazy. Stephen Pearson, one more time. We'll keep trying.
I think it's because you played the intro 6 times.
It is. Joe Herbert says, let's rock. I don't think we've started rocking yet. But now you said it. Everyone was just welcoming themselves in. They're used to the nonsense that I usually perform. Tyler Reeves, I traded Michael Carter and St. Brown for Monty before the draft. I regret giving up St. Brown, but I guess now you can get him back cheaper, to be fair.
Yeah. Which is silly, but yes, you can.
Yes, very silly. Does it make it justifiable now that I did that? No, I'm not on. I'm on Ross St. Brown. Getting rid of Michael Carter before the draft. Yeah, definitely a good move.
And
again, I guess to be fair, trading St. Brown before the draft probably meant that you got the most you could at the time.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't have done this trade.
You say that, but like Montgomery doesn't feel like a great return, Tyler. As much as I hate to say that,
no, it's not enough. But I guess the timing was right. The trade was wrong, and also I still want Amon-Ra St. Brown. So
yeah.
Call it a wash, I guess. Good job, Tyler.
I think Jameson Williams has potential to help St. Brown's efficiency.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to play you couldn't come up with two polar opposites in terms of how and where they play as wide receivers. So it's like, yeah, I mean, if the ball's moving more often because Williams does well, that's good.
Yep, I like it.
Wyatt Johnson traded the 102 for Brandon, Chris Ridley, Calvin Ridley. Don't know why I'm struggling with names today. And a mid-late 23 first. Don't project the first. 10 teams super flex league.
Who's Brandon? Ayuk?
I'm guessing Cooks. You know?
No, because that's I-N.
He's with an I.
I'm guessing it's Ayuk.
I'm pretty amazed people are still trading Calvin Ridley. To be honest with you, that's the one that gets me.
But I don't mind that especially if it's Ayuk in a first for the 102.
If it's Ayuk, cool. If it's not,
I lost Waddle to Ayuk in a 23 first. So if you're getting a 102, that's...
and I like Burks. I still want Burks, but I don't mind that at all, Wyatt.
Hell yeah. BG Lee, may the 4th be with you. Oh, well, appreciate
No, tomorrow's the Revenge of the 5th, so we're good.
That's
right. Yeah, but today, 21 days from today is Obi-Wan.
Oh, yes.
Nuts. Plus, I took Burks for 103.
Finale of Moon Knight.
Strong pick.
I'm so far
after
behind.
Both running backs went. Yeah, I think that running back to-back is going to be a common one.
Yeah.
So you get Burks at 3, and I like that.
Good. Push down those two wide receivers.
Trade back to the 105. No, don't trade back out of that range. Honestly.
No, I like Burks there. I think you did well, Tyler.
It's the right move.
Yes, sir. This is disgusting, but who do you guys take between Goff, Baker, and
Goff, without a question. Goff.
Do any have a chance to start in 2023 beyond? You would take Goff over Baker? Oh, that's true. Given the recent,
a thousand times.
I
Look
forgot
at
that.
look at that offense that Goff has around him, and if Goff decides to like not be terrible, he could Derek Carr his way into not only fantasy relevance but like NFL relevance.
But couldn't Baker Mayfield? I mean, he's got Amari Cooper and David Bell. It's pretty good.
The only, what Baker's hope is that
Baker's not even going to put Peter Baker.
That a quarterback on another team gets hurt, and so he gets traded, or Watson gets suspended, and they convince him somehow to actually play.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think that they've evicted Baker and changed all the locks in the stadium. There are no more commercials. Like he's no longer
try and put Deshaun Watson in those commercials.
Yeah, he's no longer next door to Alice Cooper. Like he's gone.
I like that one. I like all of them.
But yeah, no, I like it would be Goff out of these three for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean,
it's gross. He's right. This is
like he said,
disgusting.
Disgusting. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think it would cost to get?
I'm still fixing my ranks. Sorry.
Malik Willis.
What do you think it would cost to get Malik Willis after your rookie draft? I mean, why wait? But
I think here's
probably
the funny
more than
thing.
in the
I think
rookie
it's cheaper
draft.
to go get him in your rookie draft than
it would
is
be
to
cheaper
trade
to
for
get him in the
after.
rookie draft.
Because you're going to get him in the second here, but you're not getting him for a 23 second.
Right.
The minute he's drafted, if you want to go trade for him, gonna cost you.
Cheapest way to get him a quarterback is in a draft.
Yes, sir. Any player, the cheapest in the rookie draft. Because the minute you want someone's gonna want more than what they paid.
Right.
If they're coming to you, you can just sit around and hope he comes to you, I guess. But I don't think he's gonna. Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Joe.
Salvador traded the 104 and the 310 for Amari Cooper and the 203. Thoughts? I want Amari Cooper, but yeah, the 104 is in that range. But
I'll take the 104.
I'm pretty sure I'd take Amari Cooper.
104. I'll take my risk at one of those wide receivers. I like them. And Cooper's old, guys.
This is one of the things. Like in my league, like if Zach is in the league or Russ is in the league, I'm pretty sure I'm not getting Burks at 104, so I'll just take Cooper.
But I also would be happy with Wilson or London. I have to say the full name in my head and make sure it sounds right.
You don't have to remember his name wrong
So-
for very long. Don't worry about it. Be gone by next year.
Yeah, I mean 104. 104 in a super flex. Again, it doesn't matter. You're getting some combination of Burks, Hall, Walker, Williams. To me, like those are the guys. And Wilson, like you're getting one of the. It's a lot of W's.
That's my answer. It's
And
no
it used to be
draft. If
Willis
you
also.
think you can get the wide receiver you want at 104, like the one, not the one you'll be happy with, but the one, then go do it. If not, I'm just happy with the old guy. It's fine. But that's me. And like Russ said, he's really old. He's like 10 years younger than me, so he's really old.
13 than us.
Spock 498 just traded Dak for Watson. Deshaun, I'm guessing. And my other QBs are Lamar, Lawrence.
No.
Competing team. Did I make a mistake?
I don't like trading one for one positional because
I don't know the point.
You're at this point, Spock, where you're like, did I make a mistake? And we don't know because we don't know.
Are
Dak,
they in the same tier for you guys?
Yeah, Dak is a top tier quarterback. Watson, when he's on the field, is a top tier quarterback. Like they're both very, very good.
Yeah, as much of an ass as I am, I will rarely take a trade that I have to be smarter than you to win this trade. I think this guy is better. You think that guy is better. I will rarely take a trade that requires I assert that I definitely know more than this person about who is good, because You're just going to lose that sometimes. And then you're not only an ass, you lost. Like this is a win-lose trade, and it sucks.
Yeah, it seems like a push if everything goes right. And there's a chance for you to really tank. There's a chance for you to really lose this trade.
And your friend gets to remember that for the rest of the time in the career. Hey, remember when you thought, shut up. Tyler Reeves, where would you all trade up in the first to grab Watson and rookie drafts? I tell you what, I got Brand. I've got something from, our parent show, Don't Tell Him Zach is here. Because Mike Havens just wrote an article about should you trade back in your rookie draft. Some pretty interesting analysis, very different route to the way I would go about it. But he found some interesting things, and he said pretty much if you're in the top 3, and remember I'm summarizing a pretty cool article. It's very easy to read. But he said pretty much if you're in the first few picks, it's worth standing put. If you want to trade up a little, not a lot. And if you're going to trade way back. That's my estimation of the overall findings. Again, it's a real quick read, and it was really interesting. It's actionable information. It's right up there. It's the second article posted recently on DLF. I give that a read before you make your decision.
To Tyler's question, though, I am not going to take Watson any higher than 111, 112.
It's around where he's going. If you want to be safe, you go up to the 109 to get him.
I'm
not saying it's the smart move. I'm saying I don't think he will be gone before then.
I would rather have George Pickens. I would rather have Sky Moore. As gross as it is in a super flex, I would rather have Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's why I stay. You should want to trade up to get your guys. I think if you're trading up to get Watson, you're out kicking your cover. Again, you're thinking I'm smarter than everyone else, and I want to make sure I can definitely take the risk over anyone else, because Watson should be rightly adjusted for the fact he's second-round receiver coming from the FCS, and Green Bay clearly hates Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we all hate Aaron Rodgers, sure, but Green Bay really hates him. So what are the odds that they actually took a good FCS receiver? Come on.
He's very fast.
I think he's got potential, but you shouldn't have to go all the way up there to get him. You should get him at the end of the first, if anything.
Yeah.
And if someone else is willing to go, I know better than everyone else in the world, then cool. Let them take the risk. But since he's your guy, you should want to go up and get him. I get it. Which is why I recommend that article. He gives a pretty good insight into how and when and what kind of value to offer if you're trying to trade up and down. Not much, and don't go up too many spots overall. I would wait to see forced you. That's me. Thoughts on Jameson Williams and the second and 223 firsts for Javonte Williams and 223 seconds. So Williams and 2 firsts next year. For Williams.
I think I'm taking Jameson and the firsts over Javonte and the seconds. As much as I like Javonte, and as much as the community has been just blowing
all
Javonte's
the Dynasty
value.
talking heads, not at once. First round picks, please. It's
one of those 23 first to get a running back that will score probably 70-80% of Javonte, and then I still get J-Mo in a first.
Yeah,
it's so cliched. It's sickening. I'm sick at me for you, Salvatore. But yes, you want the 2 firsts. It's just, and Jameson Williams, he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And as much, it's really hard to love running backs. It's not worth it. It just hurts you. And like Has just said, you can get someone that we're going to want to love at the running back position next year with a first. That's what it costs. So I'll just take the wide receiver and the 2 firsts. And also, that's trading high in Javonte Williams before he's even done it. So I love that. Yeah. Steven Peterson, I heard this earlier. What's the difference between Lance and Willis other than draft capital? I think I said that, didn't I? Or I've made a comparison before. Not much as far as I can tell.
Talent?
San Francisco? I think everyone's too high on Lance, so I don't have to defend this position. Go.
You say that, but when we had this conversation, Lance was going at like the 110 or 112, and I said, this is not his ceiling. When he started going at like the QB set like 106, 107, then you've jumped the shark because now you're drafting him at his ceiling.
Yeah.
The difference is, I said, what's the difference except for draft capital? Draft capital is a huge difference.
Is it this year though?
$7 million is a lot more than say 800,000. Like it is, and so they're committed to Lance getting a shot to start, whether or not he does this year. Like they are committed to that. And
I think that's a really good point. And Lance should definitely be drafted higher for that and other reasons. Like the fact he was handpicked, like the fact they've held him, like the fact that, people are going to give you more for Lance than Willis. And so ultimately in Dynasty, that matters. And what I would say about the draft capital thing is, while it's ultimately true, this year it feels so much more about landing spot. Like all the quarterbacks are kind of outside the hit rate group, and they all landed in interesting landing spots, and that's almost, it balances a little bit. You know what I mean?
A little, but it's also, I mean, who knows if their teams are bad again this year. There are 4 or 5 quarterbacks that are being touted in next year's class as first-round quarterbacks, as opposed to this year where it was like the over/under was set at like 2.5.
Yeah. Do you if you're Atlanta, do you not draft a running back as a top 5 pick? Well,
you mean a quarterback?
Yeah. Sorry. Like if you have the number 2 pick, are you going to skip on a quarterback because you took Ritter in the 3rd?
Absolutely not.
No, I think that's why some of them are going to start games this year. They're going to try him out. They're going to be like, let's see what you got, kid. And that's an opportunity that normally draft capital lends you.
Well, I do think Ritter has a very good chance. I mean, I don't think Willis will start this year.
But to his point, yes, it is risky as a running back. Like, it absolutely is. It's probably riskier. When I talked this Sunday about this class, I have Willis, Ritter, and Matt Corral starting at like the 205 range in a super flex, with the caveat that if you are not a good team, don't take them.
Because to your point, like I auto put the QB1 in my super flex rookie ranks. Like I don't even quarterback evaluate. It's just, it's fucking obvious you take the quarterbacks. This year, the first quarterback off my board is like the 10th pick.
Yeah,
I know you don't know me, you don't care what I think, but like that's not a take. That's just I wouldn't. And normally I just auto do it.
Yep.
And these quarterbacks are not worth taking a risk for. I think Steven's got a good point there that they're just risky this year. They're maybe
the whole conversation that we've been having with Willis, where I've been pushing back with Willis, was with the caveat that he got top 15 draft capital.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I mean, he didn't even he was a 3rd round pick. So
I think my point is more, neither of them look as good as Dak Prescott. And it feels like we're drafting Lance like he might be Dak Prescott and Willis like we're not. And so there's some kind of balance there. Willis has got a similar risk with less expectation and lower cost. You know what I mean? There's a comparison.
With my evaluation of quarterbacks, Willis was the 5th. Like he was the 5th.
Fair enough.
With first round capital, he becomes.
I take it back.
With first round capital, he becomes the 1st because he's got the ability with his legs. I mean, it was the same thing with Lamar Jackson, where he was my 3rd graded quarterback, but when he went, they traded back into the 1st round, and it was.
So is Ritter higher for you now? Both 3rd round picks, kind of thing.
No, it goes Willis, Ritter, and Corral, because again, if Willis gets a job as a starting quarterback in the NFL, he's going to score you fantasy points. Period. He will. And so that's the reason why you would take him. But yes, Stefan, agree. It's risky. I would not take him in the 1st. I would, if I was a good team, I would take him in the mid-2nd, because you can gamble with the mid-2nd as a good team. If you're a bad team, don't gamble with that. Take players that are going to score you points. Take David Bell. Take Rashod White. Take Damian Pierce. Take Isaiah Spiller. Like, do that.
This is a year where safe picks, I feel, are safe, even if I don't particularly like them, are really interesting at the end of the 1st round. Like
Yep.
quarterbacks hold value even if they don't do much. These don't have draft capital, so maybe not, like Zach's just explaining. But even the tight end, like tight ends don't do much in their first year. Their value doesn't change much. Like I don't want it, but I don't hate it because there's a lot of probably nothing next year. Truman's got a question. I don't know. I think the answer is if you can win.
So 102 way over Chubb anyway.
If it depends on what you're doing with the 102. If you're taking Walker with the 102, I'd rather have Chubb than Walker.
Yeah.
If you're taking Treylon Burks and you're churning your team, awesome, let's do that.
So
but
I
if
think
you're
102 is more valuable than
if you're trading the 102, then
you think the 102 is more valuable than Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb is practically dead at this point.
Okay. That's awesome. I love it.
Did Cleveland draft
it doesn't make me happy, but it's just the truth of his value.
I don't know. That's wild to me.
You're wild to me.
I can't keep up, man.
Well, regardless, in this league, that's what the guy who has Chubb wants. So, do you want the points that much? And I think Zach's answer is better here. It depends what you plan to do with the 102. If you plan to trade it, then House is right to keep the 102. If you plan to take Burks, I'm with it. If you plan to take a running back, just keep Chubb. Rob Downs, I'm actively trying to move Montgomery. My Bears are moving to outside zone scheme. Monty is an outside zone back. Feel like there's a question in there.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Paul Cicero, what is Bateman's value post-draft? Probably where I know the market continues to zigzag me on Bateman. Like I was high and then everyone was higher and then everyone was low and I was still in the same place and now everyone's going to go higher. Like Bateman's a good player on a good offense that probably wants to run a little bit more than it did last offseason. I spent my time explaining how they can pass more and they probably will regress back up a little bit. And now everyone thinks now it's a new norm. They're probably going to come back down a little bit. Bateman's fine. He's good. He has top 12 potential on the outside, and I think he's a superb player, especially in college, he was a superb player. And in the NFL, he should be really good. I think if you're higher on Bateman post-draft, you probably just shouldn't touch Bateman. You're probably being influenced too much by something that doesn't ultimately matter that much. That's my feeling.
Paul, go into your league chat, strike up a conversation about Lamar Jackson as a passer, and take the temperature of the room, because that will tell you what people think about Bateman in your leagues. If people are arguing that Lamar Jackson is a great passer, then Bateman's value is probably going to be too high to go get. If
Wonderful
people
psychology.
if people are just dive bombing Lamar Jackson, go send out an offer for Bateman. Let's see.
Let me try and give Paul somewhat of a better answer than mine though. What pick do you trade for Bateman? Me 104. I'm good.
Well, if someone
The
let
one
me talk
after
at some
Burks.
point, I was going to say, hey, you two, where would you put Bateman in these wide receivers?
I put him right after Burks. Yeah. He'd be pretty close to Burks. I don't know which one would come out first, honestly.
He'd be the 105 for me. He'd be behind Hall, Walker, Burks, Wilson.
There you go.
That's weird. He'd be 105. So wide receiver 3, but 105.
Talking Willis with a second is losing bet in my opinion.
It
Depends who's already gone.
When you hit like the
Depends.
mid, that's fine.
Yeah, it depends who's already gone.
Yeah, and this class is not very good. So if you hit a quarterback in the second, that's gravy. If you don't, but again, that's why I'm only taking those quarterbacks if I have a good team. If I do not have a good team, I am not taking those quarterbacks. I'm not.
Well, I think who would be a better home run swing for value at that point, though? Like
all the guys I just mentioned. If Isaiah Spiller becomes a running back, like if Eckler goes down, Spiller's going to be fantastic. Damian Pierce should have volume. Zamir White, same thing in Las Vegas. Like there are a whole bunch of guys, Brian Robinson even, like just, and I don't wish this on anybody, but if there was an injury to Gibson and Brian Robinson all of a sudden had, 70% of the volume in Washington, he's going to be a stud. So those are the types of players that I'm taking. Even David Bell. David Bell could end up being a really high-end wide receiver too, opposite Amari Cooper in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson. Like there are swings that I think are safer that have similar upside, not quite the upside, but you don't have the risk.
You got to stop. I'm trying not to move Jahan Dotson any further down my ranks because it feels ridiculous at this point. But like, I'm really interested in Rashod White and Spiller in this draft class. Like, it feels like they fell. And I'm not that sad about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But everyone, it's really weird.
Like James Cook is not jumping them in my ranks.
Everyone seemed to land in pretty good places.
That's what I mean. Landing spot rather than the draft capital this year. It's interesting. I know. But yeah, I don't think anyone's excited about a quarterback in this draft. In this room, Joe, we're in good company still. Ryan, got the 101 and 102. You're set. Good. 12-team Superflex tight end premium. Dobbins Edmonds. He lists his team. You may read it at your leisure.
Do not take Pickett at 2.
Do not take.
Do not take Pickett at 2.
Draft for need. Don't do it, Ryan. Begging you. Take the best player and trade him for a quarterback if you can. Or just keep that best player. And especially not Pickett.
Trade the 101 for like the 107 and a 23 first.
Straight down.
And then you end up with Pickett at the 107, whoever's left at 102, and you have a 23 first.
Trade down if you just you just crave, what's his name, Kenny Pickett on your roster. Or take that 101 and trade him for, who did you just say is a starter? Jared Goff. Fuck. Pardon me. I think someone would jump at that chance for Jared Goff.
Don't trade him for Jared Goff, but trade him for someone.
Well, you know what I mean. If you just want a starter, and there's better ones. Hell,
you can't trade for Derek Carr because he's already got him.
Yeah, exactly. Davis Mills, I guess he had a positive draft. They didn't try and Wally Pipp him or nothing. But yeah, just no. Don't trade for need. Don't draft for need. Joannis, Joe, apologies. Update our priors or all these QBs aren't good like we assumed. Yeah, they are who we thought they were. The
only quarterback that I thought was good was the last quarterback taken. So I'm very wrong.
Brock Purdy?
No. Sam Howell. I don't acknowledge any. I don't even acknowledge Bailey Zappi.
I actually have Sam Howell ranked way too high because that's one of the only positive things I've heard about a quarterback. Like you saying, Sam Howell's not bad. I'm like, all right, rank him.
I liked him, but then that was not good.
If we're judging based on landing spot, it's not terrible. Washington's desperate need of a quarterback, to be honest. So, breakfast dinner is underrated, and we don't do
best take on the show.
As much.
Love it.
It's Parks and Recreation.
Why don't people eat breakfast food all the time? Because people
are idiots. Yeah, thank you.
Now I want
everything you need to know is in Parks and Recreation. There you go. And in a 2 tight end PPR format, would you prefer Najee or Pitts? Is John or Bob around?
Bob, actually, I saw Bob comment at some point.
I saw, Gilchrist is after. Yeah, he's like three comments down from here. So
in that case, I guess we have to pretend. No,
Pitts, because
in Dynasty, Pitts is the rarest of rare assets as long as he doesn't Evan Ingram. Najee Harris is a very rare, I think, a pretty rare asset. Top 5, top 12 running back who is young. So Pitts wins in Dynasty process-wise, and that's why John Bosch is always telling me I'm an idiot, I guess.
Especially with
I just want Najee Harris.
with that premium, the answer is Pitts. Whether you like it or not, like Pitts, you can write your ticket to trade away Pitts.
I don't think it works that way in leagues, though. But I agree, process-wise, it should be Pitts. But
you say that, but I haven't seen Pitts traded in a league because nobody can give enough.
That's what I mean. If it's impossible to pay, then the value may as well be 0.
It's going to be way too long by the time we get there. But Bob just popped in and said Pitts.
Yeah. Stephen Peterson.
It may
what's
not
the
have
last
even been
draft
about
class
that.
to have 0 QBs standing 4 years later. And there has been one other draft class with a quarterback taken outside the top 12 since 2000, I think. I did that on the clock when the draft was happening. It's pretty rare we don't get a quarterback
Russell
taken in the
Wilson
top
safety
12.
year. I mean,
Yeah. London over Burks for me. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to feel that way. You're wrong, but I mean, you like Kyle Pitts, so
and this is I tweeted this out the other day. Like, look, draft the guy you can live with because half of us are going to be wrong.
This is not 2021 where everyone wins.
Right?
You get it. People are going to be wrong. It feels bad, man.
The 102.
Which side? Superflex 102, 202, or the 105 and the 208?
I would take the 105, 28, and a 23 second because the 105 is the bottom of that tier. You're going to walk away with someone you still feel okay with, even though you won't get to choose which guy it is. Is there that big of a difference between the 202 and the 208? Not as much as there should be. And then the 23 second to me is just a good trade chip.
I want the 102 because I don't have the same tiers.
I don't think the difference between the 102 and the 105 is a single second, just because it's 2023. I get it, because if you're good at trading, that 23 second could probably do a lot for you.
I want the 102 and the 202 over the move back and the move back for 23 second. I do, but
again, I get what you're saying. Where maybe that value isn't perfect, but I'm still good with it.
I get it. This is just not the year I want to take what falls to me, especially.
But remember,
I mean,
I also said
I could be
don't
wrong,
have to
and then
make
I
a
should have
decision.
definitely taken it. Yeah,
This makes the decision for me. I don't like making decisions.
But I would rather I could end up with Burks and David Bell and be happy.
Okay, that was Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I told you it was. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, not that side.
Not that side. Thanks, Joe. I chose that side. She's at the ex-draft capital. She's a Russ fan. I get it. It's fine. Daryl Bibry. Bibry? I'm going to go with Bibry. I'm sorry, Daryl. Who do you all like at the 102? Burks for me. Burks. We're a Burks fan.
Burks.
I see this. 105, 208, 102, 2.2, and a 23 second. Yeah, that's the trade, right?
105 and 208.
I think she was dividing it up and saying this for that and that for this, but I'm too slow. Phil, Jefferson, Justin Jefferson, maybe. Anyone?
Who else is there?
Jamar, but that's probably not Jamar.
I don't know. It just feels like one of those names.
Justin
Jefferson, 205 and a 23 third, or CD 108, Larry F and a 23 first. Ooh, I was going to say the Jefferson side, but yeah, with the first thrown in, I kind of like
It's
CD.
a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, I think I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we don't have the rest of Phil's roster, but if he's competitive, adding Fournette is nice. I think Fournette is going to have another good year. Lamb, yeah, it's a little bit of a drop from Jefferson, but age-wise,
I'm still happy with Lamb.
Yeah,
real happy.
And then you got a 23 first and the 108.
Yeah. I didn't even notice the 108. Yeah, definitely easy. To me, there's no difference in value from the 1-2 to the 1-5. See, it happens at the 1-3 for me.
To me,
that's where you're at.
There's value for me being able to pick who I want.
Especially
and like that's the value. To me, I can get Treylon Burks and I'm happy. For somebody else, maybe they're Drake London. I saw Bob say, "Oh, Drake London over Burks." Like, fine, but that's still value for the 102. Like you get to make your decision.
I think that's Joe's point, though. She feels confident in 5 players. I feel confident in maybe 3.
0, but I feel more confident in terms in Burks. Yeah,
relative to a rookie pick. I drop off certainly real quick at the 3. Recovering Ridley Truther. Appreciate it. Good luck, man. Keep up the good fight. Hey guys, post draft, would you rather have who would you rather have in PPR Dynasty leagues? DK, AJ Brown, and then Elijah Moore, or Devontae Smith? Oh,
AJ Brown over DK and Devonta Smith over
Moore.
Yeah, I'm still same place. I think I'm still.
None of that changed for me.
I like the 105 side. Well, appreciate that, Phil. I link dates to happenings in Lord of the Rings, but you Star Wars people are odd. I like both, so double odd. Joe,
second breakfast, 11sies,
I'd take any excuse for a second breakfast.
Yes, I need that. I want they make an actual clock where it has all the different meals they list.
It comes in pints.
Potatoes.
We're about this far from me doing a Gollum impression, so let's keep going.
I offer my 105 to each league mate for the 23 first, or rejected. Yeah, this John Bosch was doing a poll where was the value line, and it happens real quick. I think 105 is too late from a lot of leagues right now.
Bob, I've heard a wise man say 103 is the magic number. Just saying.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Who said you said you who?
What?
I think Guitar Ninja Rick, which honestly, given his name, I should have known this straight off. I think he's got it sussed. If you want these quarterbacks, trade from a mid-season when they've done nothing.
Yeah. Although I will say, Matt Corral could start the season just because that quarterback room is that bad in Carolina.
They all really, to me, besides Willis, there's probably a good chance the rest of them start this season.
Maybe.
I think I've forgotten to rank Matt Corral.
That's embarrassing.
Anyway, not really.
Not at all, actually.
Have you seen me? There are so many more embarrassing things. I outlive a lot of embarrassment just because of this. Guitar Ninja Rick, Amari Cooper depends on rebuild or honestly, yeah.
Yep.
If the points matter, Amari Cooper most of the time. What's Hurst Dynasty value?
About what it was before.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
It went up a little bit, right?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
No, value's about what other people think.
Does AJ Brown make him throw better?
But did Stephon Diggs make Josh Allen throw better?
No, but there are a bunch of people saying that they're about to draft someone who are now like, oh wait, no, they didn't. So I guess maybe.
No, I'm good.
That's the outlier of outliers. I like Jalen Hurts. Again, he's a top 8?
I like him a lot.
9, 8,
and his value,
10.
Would
whatever.
you Hurts or Breece Hall?
I hate Superflex. It's probably Hurts.
Here's the thing, though. Now they just started up for 2023. Look at all the future draft capital they've got. They're definitely going to replace him next year. So his value probably stays about the same. And yeah, Hurts over Breece Hall. So. Different idea, Russ?
No,
it's close, but it is Hurts.
I'm just
Watson
saying
will probably miss 6 games? ? We don't have any idea.
Yeah, don't even pretend.
Watson is going to miss however many games Goodell decides.
At that moment.
Yeah.
Don't even pretend to try. It's not worth it.
No, you're just going to get yourself hurt. I care for you, Guitar Ninja Rick. Don't protect yourself. Yes, JJ equals CD. Yeah.
Fournette over everything.
Hello, everybody. I know, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Fournette is Fournette's job, but I like White too behind him. But he's going to become one of those overvalued handcuffs at this point. Hello, everybody. It's Ninja Rick. Wait, Guitar Ninja Rick. Dak for Watson. Safe play, but I think you will regret it in long term.
I don't even know that it's a safe play. It's just a meh. It's
yeah, it was just
definition of safe.
108 could net you Sky. Why won't people let me like
Skynet?
I like Sky more. I don't think he's what everyone wants him to be at this point. It seems Sky Moore's the landing spot guy this year. He's better now because he's in Kansas City. Yeah, I don't roll with it. Oh, I like Jefferson. Good. This is me posting the article. We've caught up with the start of the show. Look at that.
Here we are. We're only half an hour behind.
Yeah, for Diggs.
Do that, Phil. Do that, Phil. Otherwise, probably Sky and best available. Yeah, Diggs over Sky Moore. I might be on an island over here, but I just think Diggs pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
It's gonna have to be a big island because
there's gonna be a lot of people wanting to hang out on that damn beach. Yeah. But we're gonna pretend only we know. Greg, I have the 207 and the 210 in a 14-person Superflex league. Congratulations, Greg. Top available are Bell, Wandell.
Bell.
Yes.
Bell's not available at the 207, right?
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's saying he is. In a 14-person Superflex, he's around at the 207?
Yeah. Wow.
Look,
after him...
And my second pick right there is probably, I would have to check my thingy, but I think it's Alec Pierce. I think he's really interesting. But, you know.
A 210 and a 14.
Definitely Bell.
In a 14 team, I might take Corral.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
don't
thinking.
hate that. Yeah.
Just for kicks.
I mean, these are all darts. After Bell, they're all pretty much darts. So whatever.
It would not be Wandell. It would not be Alec Pierce. It would be one of the two running backs or Corral for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Watson is my 201 on my board, but I don't want him. There are a lot of players on my board like that this year. I'm putting him here, but the note says I don't want it.
Welcome to 2022.
That was like me when I was putting an order together, and I'm like, all right, well, I can't put Dotson at 22, so I'm gonna move him higher and just not get him. That's fine.
Literally, I rank someone and then next to it, right, but don't do it. Logic dictates I put them here, but nah. Dynasty trade wise, I think he would be better with the 108 and 109. I disagree.
Yeah, I'd rather have Diggs.
I'm out on Watson and Cooks and White in the first round. Yeah, Jesus, none of those in the first round. Who's taking those in the first? Someone's going to take him in the first round for sure.
I'm telling you, this is the Wild West this year. There is no
pretty much take anyone you want. Just do whatever you want.
It's like the first 17 picks are just like throw all your paper in the air wherever they land.
White is good, but stuck behind Lenny. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like he's going to be an overvalued backup, but if he gets opportunity, I think he's a real good player. I think he could do something there. But it's Lenny's job. Lenny long term, right? I mean, his name's Lenny. White, a running back long term? No, not a third round pick. I mean, you get another third round running pick. I didn't hear any of that.
I just drafted Justin Ross.
No, he just drafted Justin Ross. He was showing me that.
Oh, nice. Trade for 110. Get Damian Pierce, and D. Pierce is my 10th ranked prospect. I'm not that interested in Damian
Pierce. You don't have to.
No. I mean, it's 2022. Honestly, yeah, you can do that, okay? But no, don't do that.
It depends what you have to give up for the 110, I guess.
I mean, he's only 12 picks ahead of where I would have him ranked.
Only.
Which is, I mean, like, whatever. Again, go get your guy. And this year more than ever, you have to be willing to miss with your guy rather than, be mad that somebody else made the decision for you. So if that's your guy, Rob, go.
I agree.
Go get him.
I think you can trade back and get him.
I don't throw
that out.
I don't think you have to trade for the 110 to get it.
And this happens to me a lot, Rob. Like Bell right now, for me, David Bell, I've got him ranked 7th overall. I know I don't have to take him there. So he's my 7th ranked player. And honestly, I can move him up a little bit. But that doesn't, and that's what's happening to you. He might be a 10th ranked player, but it doesn't mean you have to take him there. Honestly, I don't think you have to take him there. Outside of that, he would be my 10th ranked player.
I guess consensus, according to Travis May and his 2022 rookie poll mock the 203 is Damian Pierce.
Who does that guy think he is? Come
I
on.
don't know.
He's really nice.
He thinks he's a youth pastor. Let's mock him. Let's
he
mock
really?
the youth pastor.
I mean, to be fair, I mock Clint a lot.
That's fair.
I'm currently mocking Clinton in the DM, like as we
Jameson.
speak.
No, Rick. It wasn't Jameson over Javonte. It was Jameson plus 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's the thing, Rick.
There's
2023
players I
is
value more than 3 first-round picks. In fact, there's
spectacular. Yeah.
Unless they're all 2022 picks, and then yeah, sure. Pick a boot off my shelf. Maybe it's interesting, and I'll.
He's saying behind you, pick a book, Peter, is what he's saying.
Oh, it's not. It's a Nora Roberts book, probably. That section's my wife's right there. In fact, a lot of them my wife. She reads a lot more than I do. Fan Football 2023 Dynasty 12 team Superflex PPR 2023 first. Keenan Allen for Devontae Smith 2022 108 and the 211.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I read that out of order. I hate that because it went pick what player picks, and my brain broke for a second.
It's a 108 and Smith for Allen and a future first, right?
I'll
and
take
a
Allen
second
in the
thrown
future
in
first.
at some point.
Yeah, I think I'd take Allen in the first. I like Devontae Smith, but you're hoping he becomes Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's going to be Keenan Allen for a couple of years, and then you've got a 23 first that ought to be better than the 108 and could be better than Devontae Smith or Keenan Allen. Like, it's just like this is a good class coming. It really is. Cook is McKissick with upside.
I tried looking for that. I heard I listened to the Relate Down podcast, and he was saying basically this is their replacement because they couldn't get McKissick. And I was like, I don't even see that level of receiving on his profile, but sure, I believe it.
Well,
whatever.
But that's because Georgia didn't really throw very much. Like he's pretty good.
But Georgia is also a team that role plays running backs.
The interesting thing about Cook for me isn't necessarily fantasy. And it sucks because I'm a Patriots fan, but you're not going to be able to cover them. Once they realize that you can bring Cook in and split him out wide and get him lined up on a linebacker, and he can run actual routes, it's just a cheat code for Josh Allen. Like it's going to be stupid. The Bills are going to roll teams because they drafted Cook, and Cook will be fine for fantasy. I think that just like what Joe said, it's McKissick with upside. Like he's a good pass catcher. He'll probably get some carries, like a few more carries than McKissick does, but he's not going to be any great shakes. But holy cow, does he make that team incredibly difficult to defend.
And the team's already pretty fantasy friendly. I really like Khalil Shakir as a deeper dart shot type prospect, to be clear, but he's got potential, man. Based on what
a lot of people do seem to like him.
I like him a lot. In that case, I hate him. I thought he was someone only I knew. He was a late bloomer, but he started late. It's like a Kevin Ridley rule thing, and I kind of like those guys because we sometimes get missed by breakout age Twitter.
2 of the 3 people I've either talked to or listened to recently liked him.
Yeah, Zach Reason loved him.
And Matt Price and Addison Hayes.
I take it back. Would you trade Barkley and CMC for Travis Etienne, the 112 and the 208?
No.
I wouldn't.
I want Barkley and CMC.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
really
Travis
weird.
Etienne guys moved up already, guys. We did it. We're in the promised land.
I don't get it.
What is the 2-2-S at the end?
The 112 and the 208 are the 22 picks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're this year. No. Barkley, CMC.
Like, I think even John Hogue would be like, okay, fine, I'll take CMC. What's his value if he gets 60, 80 catches, like 100 catches a year? Who are we talking about right now, Phil?
Cook.
Okay.
But he's not. He won't. Because that's
know.
not what they do. They would have to completely revamp their offense to throw to a running back, and why would you when you've got Stephon Diggs?
Well, I mean, we also said the same thing about Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey because I love bringing
That's
up
not what
complete
we said about-
outliers
That
in
is
my defense.
no.
No.
But they said Cam Newton.
What we said about Cam Newton is he literally couldn't throw to a running back because
Yes.
he's never done it before.
which was also
That's not what we're
wild.
saying. We're just saying they're not going to send 30% of the teams off.
I would also like to go on record
The
as
receiving
saying I did not say that about Cam
Me
Newton.
too. Specifically, I agreed again.
Christian McCaffrey was
Every now and
my
again, I
running
get
back
one.
one in that draft.
Pretty easily.
I'm pretty
And-
sure we have to Corey Davis 101.
I'm pretty sure I did too. But running back one, nah, that's
I outsmarted myself in that draft. I traded the 101 to get a first next year and move back to the 103, thinking that somebody would take Davis, and they didn't. And so I ended up with Dalvin instead of CMC, and I was crushed.
that was such a great.
Yep.
Talk about it, can't miss.
But I
it.
got Barkley the
And-
next year, so I was okay. Yeah, it was good.
How many quarterbacks in the NFL right now are not drafted in the first round? I just think about as many as both ways. No, nowhere close. And you can look at the list. Very few. Historically, very few. And right now, very few were not taken in the first 12 picks, quite literally. Let's see. We've got Tom Brady. I guess he's still in the league. We've got Dak Prescott.
Well, hold on. Bengals, Joe Burrow, Ravens, Lamar, Bills, Josh
Lamar,
Allen,
okay.
Browns. I mean, Baker or Watson, whoever you want to talk. Broncos,
Okay.
Russ Wilson wasn't. Texans, Davis Mills. Colts, Matt Ryan was. That's who's there now, right? Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. Chiefs, Pat Mahomes. Chargers, Justin Herbert. Dolphins, Tua. Patriots, Mac Jones. Jets, Zach Wilson. Raiders, Derek Carr. Titans, Tannehill. Technically, yes, even though not by them long ago. Steelers, both Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Cardinals, Kyler. Panthers, technically Sam Darnold. Just saying. Falcons, Mariota. Bears, Fields. Cowboys, Dak was the third, right? Goff on the Lions. Aaron Rodgers was the first, even though we all know that story. Vikings, Kirk Cousins was not. Saints, Jameis was. Rams, Stafford was. Giants, Daniel Jones was. Eagles, Jalen Hurts was not. Seahawks, Drew Lock was second, right?
82% of all fantasy relevant seasons at quarterback, i.e., finishing the top 12 since 2009, all of the seasons, 82% of them were from quarterbacks drafted in the early first round. It's not. I know hit rates make it seem. Think about Russell Wilson and Dak. It happens. They're rare. Like
yes,
it's
very
no way of really saying it to over exaggerate how rare.
Also top 15 is really
like
where
literally
you want to
top.
be. Yeah.
I mean, it drops off even earlier than that, but I'll take top 15. That's fine.
Yeah.
12-team Dynasty tight end premium. I like it. It's one of my favorite formats. Yeah,
that's Barkley and CMC. That was the Barkley and CMC trade.
It didn't matter, but we like it.
Still Barkley
like
CMC.
Context. If Cook can add 10 to 12 pounds.
I'm not on for put on muscle Twitter. Like,
I tell you what, I have a perfect solution to put on 10 to 12 pounds, and it's the sleeve of Oreos in a bowl, pour the milk on, eat it with a spoon. I put on 10 to 12 pounds easy doing that. 40,
Joe,
50
this
pounds,
is both
whatever.
how we overtalk ourselves into drafting running backs too early, and why weight and BMI and shit doesn't matter. Like one bag of Oreos away from being a perfect running back. Like, come on. Probably RB 15. Yeah, that seems fine.
I mean, he becomes Michael Carter.
Yeah.
Great. What
Those
happened
top
to Michael
24
Carter?
running backs, but I can draft them after those guys. Seth, I have 4 picks 212 and beyond. That's not good. Is there any? Yes, there is always talent that's worth taking a shot on that can increase in value you can trade for, but you just got to know you're taking all flyers down there.
like, isn't okay?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Trey McBride is back there. Jelani Woods is another tight end who's athletic.
Not in my league.
Shakir is back that way.
I like Shakir.
Dubs is back that way. Keontae Ingram is probably later than that. I like Keontae Ingram. I know he got 6th round capital, but he went to Arizona.
I don't have a lot of ADP right now, but here's who I've got ranked like 24 and beyond. It's Alec Pierce, who I think is interesting. That's where I have James Cook, and yeah, I hate on me all you want.
Do you just say, oh yeah, he's a wide receiver in Indianapolis, better draft him?
No, I want to look. No? He's Anthony Amico mentioned him like way back in the pre-draft. That's when I added him, and he wasn't unproductive where he was. He's just limited. He's got size. Isaiah Likely at the tight end position, because I really do think that tight end gets taken early in that. I like Jalen Talbot, Dallas.
Yep.
Also, you're going to get, Keontae Ingram that Zach likes, Tyler Batty, who I like. Justin Ross is going to be probably taken around that.
I just took him in the third. I just took him 309.
There are really good shots around there. Just know you're taking shots. And if they increase in value, you mostly trade them. Shots. We're a party channel now. I'll say Buffalo's the place that I want to bet on that profile, but I probably want someone else to overdraft him. Yeah. Just so they push someone else down. I trade for future picks generally, Seth. Yeah, you play Dynasty, you get it. I don't understand. He's not very good. He's 10 pounds heavier. Suddenly he's good. Okay, sure. You know that literally no serious medical study has ever found that extra weight makes a player less likely to be injured. In fact, they seem to have a higher injury, but never mind. Yeah, extra weight makes a player better. Rob Downs. These 3 third-round quarterbacks are quite quick smashes, purely for they will get half the season to prove it or lose it. These QBs won't roster cloggers.
I think not 100% convinced, Rob.
I think you literally just described how they can become roster cloggers.
Yeah.
Like even if they hit, it's kind of and then someone else gets drafted with actual draft capital.
Sam Darnold is going to get a chance to lose that job. Marcus Mariota is going to get a chance to lose that job.
Yeah.
Even Trubisky is going to be in a competition with Pickett. Like they took Pickett at 20 overall, and that's not a sure thing that he starts. And then you start talking about, Willis is not, there's no competition. Tannehill is starting. Okay. Yeah. There maybe
he thinks he might get cut for cap. That's the hope.
Yeah, but that's not, that won't happen this year, and it probably won't happen next year, but it depends on if the whole coaching staff gets let go. That's kind of where we're at. Like they're tied.
They're all more Jordan Love than they are. I don't know. Whoever we think this Aaron Rodgers, he got stuck behind a great quarterback and had to sit for a while. And none of them. And
I think the quarterback that people are pointing to is Hurts. Because he was a 2nd round pick and he was behind Wentz, who was the second coming, and they obviously Wentz fell on his face and they traded Wentz and elevated Hurts, but that's the exception, not the rule. The rule is, hey, you're who's the quarterback that the Patriots drafted and traded Matt Castle. Like that's the rule is you're Matt Castle. You're a quarterback who's a backup, and then if you flash in the preseason, maybe they ship you somewhere.
I keep thinking Jordan Love. These guys, we talk ourselves up. They're good players. They just need opportunity, and that guy's going to be gone. And it's just, that's what I mean, though. None of these guys profile well. We're just talking ourselves into them for. Yeah, we need someone to be good. And, well, sometimes you don't get it. Vibe check on some middling tight ends. Commit Njoku. Stop thinking about David Njoku or Smith. Ingram's interesting because he's so deep. And he's never stopped getting targets. And Njoku never got targets. Smith never got targets. Commit might start getting targets next year. It's a big year for him. Ingram's the only one who's ever actually gotten targets. What?
Komet got a decent amount of targets last year.
Yeah. Relative to his place.
I didn't get many targets.
But not 20% target share like Ingram continually gets. But yeah. That's what I mean. Commit's interesting riser. Ingram's just dirt cheap and still getting targets.
Yeah.
Smith and Njoku are just some reason people just keep
because
I love David Njoku when he was drafted, but you got to adjust for how it works out. Like,
Would you rather take a swing on Tunyon, who again is being taken way later, who, if healthy, he's one of the few targets that Aaron Rodgers has on his team still that he theoretically trusts? That may
forgot he existed. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, I would rather go deeper on tight end and play that game than I would, go after Komet and Smith.
Yeah, like
guys and girls, you just got to stop leaving this window open for me to sound like I know something and I'm smart just by going, oh, they were bad, therefore I think they're bad. That's literally the level of analysis that's the gaping hole you're letting me walk through. So it's like he's been bad for 5 years. I think he's probably bad. Wow, how did he know? Like, you got to shut that door.
That's
just
why
trust what you see.
Right now. Hashtag analysis.
Vibe check is. That's the vibe.
Vibe check is. I think I've drafted Ingram. Like, I'd have to check, but like 70% of best ball drafts, because like there's no one else there I'm anywhere interested in. There's like Ingram, who will catch 5 targets every now and again and maybe score a touchdown again once in his NFL career. God knows. They need someone who can throw touchdowns, man. Or just Ingram to hold on to the ball.
Touchdowns are overrated. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't get points for those. Which makes me think he is a guy that's still talking about James Cook gaining weight and therefore being a much better player. I know that Njoku got paid. Like, the NFL's really rich and they waste a lot of stupid money. I have nothing on this guy. Anyone think Njoku's going to resurge? It could be. He's an athletic freak. I really liked him as a prospect.
I was told that you would never get him any cheaper than the first round in your rookie draft in 2000, whatever it was.
16,
17, yeah.
There you go. 108, 110, for the 103. Yeah, yep. I'm a big fan moving into the top range this year.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Especially with the 101, 104.
Whoa.
Yeah, you could have some
23
fun.
first. Do you have active players on your roster, or did you just trade them all for these picks?
He's got Kendrick Bourne. He's got Zach Pascal. What are you talking about? He's good.
Colin, that is my kind of team.
I would do that. I was gonna say you should know, Colin, assess the draft yourself, because you can get anyone you want between like 105 and the 203. If there's someone in there you like, they're probably falling to you at the 108 this year. But you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, you just go
101. You take Hall or you trade it.
Yep. Peyton. Hey guys, I have the 106 and the 12-team Superflex, and I don't love what I think my options will be. I have no idea.
You don't know what your options will be.
So little idea what your options will be, but I know the feeling. What are some realistic options to flip the pick for? That's a good question. Like, before the draft, I listed several wide receivers I'd strayed like the 104, 105 straight up for. And it was Ayuk, it was Devontae Smith, it was Juju at the time, and Jerry Jeudy. Is there anyone that occurs to you like that? Running backs. It's running back season there, right? So you can include them too. Who would you trade the 106 for?
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up rankings and it's taking...
That's cool. I think I still stand by my list. That seems to be a pretty good list of players. Devontae Smith's probably fallen a little bit because of the draft, and I'm still okay with it. I think now we can include Elijah Moore. I think people are going to start getting a little scared on him. So, like Zach said, I can trade for him now. So I would include him.
Derrick Henry?
Yes, easily.
I don't know. Terry McLaurin? I think that's a little high, but yeah. Go get Bateman.
Bateman, yeah. Rashod Bateman. Yeah. I worry his value is going to go up from here, but if it's in that range, yeah.
Go get Michael Pittman.
You'll never hear Peter say that. What about making a play for ETN at this point?
Yeah. Ooh,
and then with the idea of trading him again when because he's still going to go up in value. He is. People are going to get so excited when he's back, and he is the back in Jacksonville.
Yeah, my running back trade targets haven't changed much, but ETN's a good idea. He could do straight up for that pick. Lenny Plus in Dynasty, you could probably get Lenny Plus.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure you could.
Josh Jacobs straight up.
You can get a lot more. Jacobs later.
But if I were you, Peyton, though, I would wait until I was on the clock to make this trade because you don't know what is going to be there. You could be pleasantly surprised. I have been in a draft this year where Treylon Burks was the 106.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
I mean, it could happen. I keep getting surprised by like David Bell's. This year's Wild West, man.
David Bell's going to be their mid-second,
right.
Peter.
You could get to the 106, and you'd be like, "No, I know exactly who I want." And on the clock, you can send out all those trade offers for any names that we just throw out, or you've come up with as well, and you got plenty of time. I think that's probably the best advice. If Hall and London go 1 and 2, bye, Nicholas. And I have the 103. Should I get Walker, Burks, Wilson? I think those are your three, and I take Burks. But I wouldn't look at you funny for taking any of them.
Yeah.
Is James Conner involved in any of this? No, is it? No. Okay.
I mean, the draft was positive for Connor, to be fair. Nicholas
say his name 3 times and he shows up. That's 2.
But yeah, no, it's Burks for me pretty easily there, Nicholas.
He's good too. Colin, I did that. I think I have more control of guys I like.
Yep.
I probably... Okay. I don't understand.
That's the one where he moved up to the 102. Or 103, sorry.
Still talking about weight and running backs. Sure.
BMI Twitter.
Chubb is a nice RB2. I think he's an RB1, but RB2.
Talent-wise, yes. Fantasy-wise, no.
Sure.
I mean, he was a RB11 last year, and he was hurt for half the season.
J-Mike check.
I know him.
I know that guy.
He's my friend from work.
He says that our faces look so stupid they make him laugh.
That's fair. Harsh.
But in a more positive manner, because it's J-Mike.
We're really far behind.
Thanks for stopping in, J-Mike.
We're like an hour behind.
Take over for a second.
I can't. I have not signed in. Recovering Ridley Truther. Yeah, unfortunately, Chubb is dead. The managers with him want more than managers without will give. The lack of receiving work is always the argument against him.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But he's also really good.
He's really, really, really good. But you need an outlier of a game to get top 5 RB scoring from him.
Yeah, but he does that. Like that's what he does.
You'll get it once or twice, but you're also going to get a lot of games where it's 16 rushes for 90 yards and 0 catches, and it's a great game in the NFL. It just sucks for fantasy.
I don't know. I'll take he averaged 16 and change points in PBR last year. Like I will take Nick Chubb on my team. Yeah, he did. He was 16. Like maybe spot on.
I believe you.
Okay. I rostered him several places because people took Sony Michel ahead of me. And so I ended up with a lot of Nick Chubb. But again,
per game, huh?
Yeah, but that's
22, 16, 8, 11, 24, 7.9, 30, 22, 5, 9, 16, 27, 5.
Yeah. So again, he's that guy that if he's your running back 2, which he probably is, he's a great running back 2.
Yeah.
He'll win you a week. And I like that. You play for upside. And I know everyone gets so caught up and we want consistency. Consistency is a myth. Consistency is something that we have made up and pretend like it happens, and it doesn't. So give me the guy with the ceiling, every day, twice on Sunday. Peter, throw us the next question.
Cool. Colin Bear, Hall at 101. Yeah, Infinite Superflex for me. And based on roster of 102, no. And he takes Walker, and I go Pickett and my favorite receivers. Feels like you're projecting the draft a little too much. Or triple down on receivers.
Don't go
so I
pick
think
it.
The question is here.
Don't go pick it.
There you go.
Especially with you have Watson, Lamar, and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is going to start the season even if Watson gets suspended, and then if Watson gets suspended, he's going to come back, and you have Watson and Lamar Jackson. Don't worry about Pickett. Take the receivers or whoever the best player is available.
Guys, now is game time. You know that stuff we've been laughing about, how easy it is and how people should just do that, and it's easy to draft for talent and trade for need. Ha ha ha. Now's when you do it. It's tough and it's ugly on the clock, and this is when you do it. Don't take
you got to remember that
don't do it.
It's currently May. You don't have any needs.
Sounded easy a month ago, didn't it? Now you're looking at Pickett. I'm like, oh, I got to take him though. Don't do it, Colin. I appreciate it, man. I you're not stupid for thinking it. We're all kind of having the same thought, but we'll stick to the process. We'll try to stick to the process. you all like swapping Mike Williams for David Montgomery, even Steven.
Montgomery's worth more than Mike Williams.
I take Montgomery.
I
don't want the Mike Williams stage. I don't think it is even Steven, but I would do it if I'm getting David Montgomery.
Yes.
Who are your wide receivers?
Burks.
I think he's asking somebody else.
No matter.
Yeah.
Burks.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think putting Bateman behind your top 3 in this class is fair. I honestly, when I say I think he would be second, maybe first in this class, I'm trying to imagine I didn't know anything else if he was just a rookie. And based on his profile, I think I like him a lot more than almost everyone else in this class, except for maybe Burks.
So in like an hour and 20 minutes, you guys are going to see
the inside of my eyelids because it'll be 12:30.
Yeah, but this has to be a Devi league because Bob Gilchrist emailed us 5 rookie drafts he has going on right now on a CSV, and there's one of the leagues where Kenny Pickett went 101, and I started to freak out, and then I looked at it, and Breece Hall's not on there. So either something really weird going on, or there's like limited Devi in it.
Yeah, that happened to me. I was on the clock and I was excited because I hadn't seen Breece Hall drafted yet, and then I realized someone already rostered him, and I got real disappointed.
Garrett Wilson's down there at the 108. This is maybe just the weirdest draft ever. Maybe just can't draft guys whose first names start with a B.
Do you think CeeDee Lamb's going to make the leap this year into being a 20% plus target share player? I'm assuming is generally the question. I think he is. I think CeeDee Lamb's great. I think he's going to be fine in that role. I think he's
do you settle for anything less than like fantasy production though? Like I say not you, not meaning you specifically, really Peter, because I know you're a logical person. I think the fantasy community at large will go nuts and just drop CeeDee Lamb if he's not a top 10 producer.
That's fair. I also think his value is a little phony right now. Like I have him wide receiver 3 in Dynasty. I think he's going to be commonly around that range, but there's a lot of people asking questions because he haven't had 70%. I think it's hard to get that value out of him. So would I sell him right now? Yes, at that value, because value's value, but I don't think you get that kind of trade. So
if you're a good team, and I know we don't like 1-for-1, would you go and move CeeDee Lamb right now for Cooper Kupp?
Yeah,
I think I would.
Again, technically no, because I can't bring myself to do that. But this year, especially, like you're probably just gonna get more points.
I like points.
Yeah,
that's fair. So you don't think CeeDee Lamb's gonna get points this year?
I think CeeDee Lamb will be fine. I don't think he's gonna get as many as Cooper Kupp.
All right, I get it.
This is the same reaction we had last year when I told you Cooper Kupp was going to be top 12. And you're like, all right. I go, okay.
I really only have 3 reactions to things, so it's pretty good odds. London Burks, Wilson, Bateman.
Yeah, I am
that's
with
fair.
you, Joe.
Got Burks and Wilson.
Except for I want Burks
London.
over London, Wilson over London, and Williams over London, and also Bateman over London. But
Wow,
close enough.
In one of the 14-team league drafts that Bob sent us over, Pickett at 109, Desmond Ridder at 111, Matt Corral at 114, Willis at 202, and David Bell at the 209 in a 14-team league. Wow.
Me too, Colin. And look, there's only I can't write in my notes. Zach tells me he's bad, so I don't like it. But that's
why not?
Like I know
those are my notes.
He's my wide
London
receiver
is 4. No, not bad. But London is the type of player that his production can lie because of the way he makes it. I know I've had it happen to me several times. N'Keal Harry. But his profile's there. It's 3rd pre-draft. It's 2nd post-draft, I think it was. So I have to like him. And my downside is the way he made the production has often failed and is a real narrow needle. But if a guy's going to do it, he would have the production profile of Drake London. I feel iffy about it. But I have him as my wide receiver 2, and I'm standing by it right now. I keep wanting to put Wilson over him, but literally the negative note is Zach says he isn't good. As good.
There's a man
I
named
can't
Snoop
borrow
Connor
Zach's take, but I feel like doing it. Like,
you guys want to help me make my pick at the 501?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a man named Snoop Connor, why wouldn't you take him?
Because he just got taken at the 412.
Oh, man.
See, Hassan Haskins, Jerome Ford. No.
Justin Ross there?
Bo Melton. Bailey Zappi. I'm just going to take Hassan Haskins anyway. Because there's literally no one else. I've decided I'm getting rid of the 5th round.
Ford over Haskins, if it matters.
What?
My note on him literally reads, I mean, he was drafted. That's nice. But that's better than nothing. I guess.
Yep, took Haskins. Yeah, I've decided to drop the 5th rounds starting. Well, I have to wait till 25. I guess I could see if... What is it? Okay.
A.J. Smith is an undrafted free agent. Let's go.
If no one has traded 24 5ths yet, would you be opposed to me just taking those away?
I don't know. I don't care.
Really. Legitimately asking, because I'm not saying...
You have taxi squads?
Yes.
Then I would be. I think that's the only value of those picks is that you can put them on a taxi squad. Whereas if you pick guys up...
you can put them on taxi squad too.
Can you can pick up rookies and put them on
my taxi squad exists for literally no reason.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, whatever.
I created a taxi squad because in my head I was going to find a fun way to work stealing in, and then I couldn't figure it out and got lazy and never tried again, and I just didn't get rid of it.
So you have to watch live. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're an hour and change behind, but we see.
So Trent's playing in a league where QBs are heavily valued, even in a 1 QB league. He's got Mac Jones and the 102, or Herbert and Ayuk.
Herbert and
Ayuk, like easy, even if the league wasn't heavily
1 quarterback, 10 teams. So you're talking Mac Jones and one of the wide receivers, or Herbert and Ayuk. Yeah, Herbert and Ayuk. Sorry, I didn't read that.
You say my other quarterbacks are Lawrence and Matt Ryan.
Give me. I
Well,
take
Herbert is an
Yeah.
upgrade on all of those guys, and I like Mac Jones, and I think Ayuk's got as much outside as the 102
Yep.
if you're going to take a wide receiver. So.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yep.
Great stuff, guys. I always look forward to this show. Wow, Niall, thank you. Honestly, it's hard to believe that most of the time, but I'm really happy you guys
buddy.
always show up. I like London being so productive as a freshman with Pittman. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that his profile looks so good to me. I'm used to liking those kind of things. He was better than Amon-Ra and Pittman on the same depth chart at a younger age. Like, get out of town. And then Zach's like, no. I'm like, oh, God. The Q Harry flashbacks. Oh, my God.
You're pushing this narrative like I just completely trashed
No,
him.
I get that
he's
you're not
he's
saying he's
literally my
terrible.
wide receiver 4.
I know, but I have him as my
Why are you
wide
so low
receiver
on
too,
him,
and that
Zach?
makes me nervous.
That's true. Yeah.
I like Wilson a lot. If there's a problem, I want to take Wilson.
It concerns me a lot that everybody who likes him
That's
says,
the thing that gets
if he goes
he's
to
the wide
the
receiver
NFL,
1 or he's nothing. And I'm
Well,
like,
no,
Burks is better. Burks is definitely better.
No. They say if he goes to the NFL, we need him to switch positions and be a big slot.
Thank you. That's something Scott kept saying to me. Like all the comparisons he was pulling out the air from these professionals. I'm like, so if he plays like an entirely different player, he's good.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know what to do with that information. But anyway, that definitely means more for London. I mean, no one doesn't like London.
I forgot that Eric and Paul are in the same. This is great. This
Eric,
is one of my
listen,
favorite
jokes.
guys.
Don't Paul Cicero to check the league channel. Yeah, and knows Lamar is in demand. Damn it! But how has Bateman's value changed compared to Hollywood brand? Hollywood's always been undervalued. I don't know this changes that much, but he's good, man. Bateman, I think people are just zigzagging me all across the board with Bateman. I don't know what to do about it. Feels like I can't catch up to people and they can't keep up with me sometimes. I don't know. Bateman's good. He's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. He's going to be impressive on the field. Lamar Jackson's going to love him. He's going to do great things for Lamar Jackson, I think. I don't think he's freaking, bee's knees. I can't think of the words I want to use. That's it. I love every inch of Bateman's success because it just continues to convince me that Tyler Johnson was summarily dissed by the NFL and he should have succeeded. Thoughts on Haskins, Ingram, Ford, Shakir I like a lot. Dubs,
Ingram.
J-Mike has an interesting note on Woods. I think is okay. I don't see anything that strikes me particularly, but I ranked him, and I'm very free with not ranking players if I'm not interested. I want to dig in more, and he looks like he's one of those special teamers that were overdrafted, but his profile wasn't terrible. I need to look at him more, but it wasn't terrible. Shakir is the one that stands out. All these running backs are just, they're running backs. They have
Ingram.
a place on a dynasty depth chart. Ingram.
I want Ingram.
Ingram.
Ingram is a good running back in a good landing spot, even though he got poor draft capital. I mean, he's in Arizona. It's Connor, and then drop your voice. Ingram is the second best running back on that team. He can be a pass catcher, so it will be. I like him as a pass catcher plus with the opportunity to, skyrocket production if Connor goes out.
Tell you what, and I've got this written down in my notes. Like the only problem I have with wide receivers like Shakir is you should take them in the range where it's just better to stack up running backs. And Keontae Ingram's a really good example of it. We were just reading a few out to Russ, to be fair, which he summarily ignored to draft Hassan, who's never going to do nothing. Tyler Algier is fine too. Tyler Batty, I've got in the same range. So, yeah, I like Shakir, though, as far as upside goes. I want to see London play slot. Yeah, again, it's just, if he plays like a different player, we love him. I don't know what to do with that information. I wish more people played like Stefan Diggs, personally, but,
If you weren't so ugly, you'd be good looking.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And here, wow, we are really far behind.
Really far behind.
We're trying, man.
Peter, we were 45 minutes behind, but then you started looking at your spreadsheets again, and now we're like an hour and 10. Rock and roll.
3 seconds of the new 23 first. Yeah. Time to trade for all the 23 seconds now. Everyone's traded for the 23
That's
first.
like everyone says 40 is the new 30, and then my knees fall off. And it's
Which
not.
white running back has the best immediate
Racist.
impact? Yeah. Which has the best long-term value? Rashod. London Burks, Wilson Walker have the same value to me, basically.
So this is her talking about trading back to the 105.
That's fine. I mean, like, if that's the way you value them, awesome.
Yeah. It just happens for me a little earlier. Local liability, 10-team, 1 QB. I sent Chark Akers and a 23 first and a 23 third for AJ Brown, Michael Carter, and 23 second.
AJ Brown.
Akers and a first for AJ
Well, Michael
Brown.
Carter immediately lost value during the draft. So, I mean, that feels like a loss.
Wait, so
I want
Akers-
AJ Brown and over any of the other stuff. So
Yeah,
I'll probably
Akers
take
and a
it.
first for AJ Brown, Michael Carter in a second.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather AJ. Yeah. AJ
Yeah.
Brown.
To me, a short term and probably long term, Zaquande is intriguing. Yeah, there's a lot of, like I say, I got Zamir White and Zonovan Knight ranked right below Keontae and Tyler Batty. So, yeah. Guitar Ninja Rick, think Willis will be good 2 to 3 years from now. I think if it takes that long, we're already done. We already know the answer was no. Definitely want to trade Chubb off my roster. I agree. If you don't need points, like your team sucks enough that points are just kind of an incumbent, and sure.
Points are the worst. Come on.
Who likes points? Smith, Johnson, and Moore for the 101, 102, and a 23 second.
We're going to need more than that. Smith, Johnson, and Moore. I don't know who, I don't know who those are.
I was just trying to... Are there 3 first names that we can add to that would make me not want them over the 101 and 102? Yeah, I need no more.
Seriously, wait. What Johnson?
I don't know. He said add any first names.
Oh,
Deontay.
Calvin?
I assume it's Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, and Devontae Smith, in which case I would want them.
Maybe it's Carry-On Johnson.
I'm sticking with Calvin. He's still better than half the wide receivers in this league if he walks out right now.
I'm sorry, I'm so far behind. We can't spend. I can't guess for you, Eric. Joe, if there was a good chance to see quarterbacks could start the season, they wouldn't be 3rd round picks. I slightly disagree. It feels like running back teams are taking shots this year, and if they show enough and the quarterbacks in front of them struggle, I really think a few could start games this year. But ultimately, yeah, that's where they've been drafted. They're flyers. They're probably not going to get much of a look. 2022 rookie draft in a nutshell. 8 drafts through at least the 2nd round. I had 15 picks, and most of the single players, David Bell and James Cook, and 11 different players.
Yeah, it's
the
Wild West, man.
FF Lefty offered the 102 and the 202 for a 23 first, not his own. Rejected. 23 first does belong to a bottom 16. But damn, yeah, the 102 doesn't get it done sometimes.
That's rough.
I feel like the line is 103 on average, but you just got rejected for higher.
I just don't think there's a line anymore.
No, yeah. And there are good players here, man. Worth noting. Bob Gilchrist, she's talking to Bob, so I guess we can leave him. I think landing spot guy this year is James Cook. Yeah. And he's also drafted in the 2nd round with Walker and Hall. Just remember, he's a different type. This is why I'm ignoring the weight arguments. Don't talk yourself into him being more than he is. He's a very good player on a great team. He's probably going to get a decent role, but he's not someone who can turn into that what passes for a workhorse now. Yeah. Jake, 12-team Superflex just got an orphan. Traded Adams and Cook. So I'm assuming Dalvin, for 23 first and 2nd, Bateman and Aaron Jones. Like it. Since it's an orphan, I'm assuming you're trying to build it and move forward.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. You just left Devontae Adams.
You got a decent running back point wise. You got a 23 first. You got Bateman.
Yeah, that's good.
Thought about spending some time talking about Devontae Adams there, but nah. Michael Henry, Dotson, James Cook, or Pickens and the 112. Pickens.
Pickens.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Pickens is going to be undervalued, but I'm kind of doing it myself, so it's hard to point a finger at. Michael Carter. We did that joke last time, right? Tried to play the waiting game at 105. Only guy I didn't want was Walker, and he fell there, so I traded to the 107 and Singletary, and then took Pickett, who I would have taken at the 105. Yeah. It's one of those years where Pickett can be the 107 guy or the 105 guy. You can play it as you go. Like Zach was saying to the guy at 106, you honestly don't know who's going to be available, do you?
Yeah.
Have Zeke and Kamara. Which one should I look to move now?
Yes.
Both if your team sucks. Or if it doesn't. Bob is spreading the pain. Yeah. Chris Guilford. Jake, I think Zeke. I think both. And if you can't trade them now, you can't get something decent, wait till the season. They're going to score points. And they're running backs. They're good players. Dotson equals Pickens greater than Cooks. I would...
Pickens
Dotson equals... Yeah, it's Pickens and Cooks and Dotson are equal, and I guess I'll take the running back for me. Ryan, thoughts on pivoting off Kittle for someone like Schultz plus? It's the opposite direction to how I go at tight end. Kittle's...
I'd be fine.
That,
I mean, I want a first.
You can.
But, yeah,
it depends what the plus is. But Kittle's in a different type of cat, a position where there's literally hardly anyone. And so I like getting Kittle. I'll bet on that upside once I've seen it.
Cognitive dissonance, Peter, where you hate Lance but love Kittle. This is something it's going to give.
Not cognitive dissonance. Mediocre quarterback.
I think you need logic and reason for there to be cognitive dissonance, and I don't think that rolls with Peter.
Fair enough.
Sorry, buddy.
Getting sucked into it.
I was rooting for you.
Not getting sucked into it. Not doing it.
I like that.
It's amazing how there are 12 wide receivers and only one Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, like every year, but whatever. Michael Carter, once the draft started, I got offered the 102 for Akers alone. Took the deal and grabbed London. Don't hate it. I think I'm a little lower than some people on Akers. He's a running back. He's very good. I just think it's more of a committee than people are valuing that right now.
I got more excited with the 102 than the grabbing London. But if London's your guy, yeah, go for it, Michael.
Yeah.
I would have taken Burks, but can't blame you for London. I can blame you because you did it, but it's fine. Rivera said Dotson isn't necessarily think Dotson is a slot player. They like his ability to beat coverage. I think Dotson's earned his shot in the NFL. Honestly, I think he earned his later-ish first-round draft capital. I just don't. I think he's that type of first-round pick that's a good NFL player that's not particularly fantasy relevant. It's fine. It's good. Anyone have any other thoughts on Dotson? Like, that's it for me. And I can run through the numbers as to why, but he doesn't compare well to those who would. We excel at high volume and high efficiency.
We had the conversation the other day. Like, to me, Dotson, if he succeeds, he's going to succeed like Brandon Cooks, which is a hard way to succeed for a small receiver. Like, there's literally one Brandon Cooks.
I can definitely understand why an NFL team would value him. We're not NFL teams. Yep. That's where the Dotsons of the world fall.
Dotson's really good against zone. Like, I like him against zone coverage, but
actually, since you mentioned Cook, that's not a terrible. Like, the one I always go to is like Ted Ginn. He's a great NFL player. Had an amazing NFL career. The guy deserves accolades, and for fantasy, he was shit. Like, you didn't give a shit. Like, it didn't matter. Like, it's a different thing. And I think Dotson fits in that category of good college player who's gone to a good college team, earn his spot, is going to do good things. But that's where I'm at. Did I skip over XS Evergreen here? So where's your guys cut off as far as players you want? Mine is 107. I think that's a good tier. Mine's literally at the 103 though. And
mine's 2023.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, like I'll go down to Pickens, who's the 108 for me, but
Yeah, there's players I want in quotes, but like there's not players I feel like I need to have. Like
Yeah,
Pickens and Olave.
I like a
it'd be
lot of
cool to get
players in
them,
this
but
class.
like I'm not staying in this draft
like,
to make sure that
the guys that I
keep
really
them.
am actively trying to acquire are Brees Hall and Treylon Burks. Full stop.
I want
David
Garrett
Bell.
Wilson.
I don't even want
David-
David. I don't want Wilson
As a
I don't-
second
like,
round value,
Wilson's
I
good.
want in on it.
But like if push comes to shove, like if you're really making me make a decision, it's there too.
Yeah, that's
I took Justin Ross in the third round, but I was kind of messing around. I took him at 309.
Probably don't have to do that.
No.
But I would be happy taking him in the third. Again, down there, you take your shot.
Yeah.
I drafted Damian Pierce at 210. Too high still for me, but it's cool. And no need to draft Pierce at 110. Yeah,
Pierce in the
and in the
mid-second is
210 range. That's
pretty
fine.
normal.
Yeah.
110.
Yeah, I think probably he's in the consciousness around 203, 204.
They're talking about Dotson some more. So I have Cam Akers, and I'm a little worried about him going forward, even though he'll get a lot of touches. It's the touches that worry me.
I don't think there's a reason.
Like,
to be
I think
worried.
he's not worried.
If you think he's getting a lot of touches, then there's literally zero reason to be worried.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah. You just want the touches. So. One QB, how aggressively should you be moving up into the top 7? It's 201 plus 2 future seconds and overplay.
No.
3
Yes,
seconds.
don't do it. Don't do it. Why
I
do
don't
it?
care about seconds.
Not to get in the top 7. To get in the top 3, I think it's worth it. But honestly, yeah, it's very hard to move up into the top 3 that far out. The value is probably too much.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's giving up the 107 for a 201 in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's what I mean. The value. Well, that's part of what I mean. Or it carries on from what I was trying to say. To get into the range that you want, you probably have to pay too much if you're at the 201. I have the 101 from a trade last year. Walker is my guy, but I got to take Hall, right?
I mean, take your guy. I would take
Yeah,
Hall,
that's what
but
I would
take your
say.
guy.
See if you could at least trade back one spot.
Yeah.
If not, then just
Or
go
take your guy. Honestly, I'll say and if it goes wrong, I'll tell you. I told you to take Hall, but it's okay to get one wrong, man. You got to take your guy. If you can't trade back up one spot, just take your guy. It's fine. It's your team. It's the only way to have fun.
Yes, Guitar Ninja Rick.
How is
Heavy
2023
receivers.
looking? Heavy receivers, QBs, and running backs? Yeah. Apparently, It's just the nirvana of fantasy players.
It's a good class, Peter. You know, all
bet.
these receivers that you said, from Ohio State, that you're like, they were
JSN
rough.
is better.
Yeah. And then the same thing with like all the guys that were coming out of LSU that you're like, well, Keyshawn Butte is like, this is a good class. It's a good
Think
class.
of 2022 as everyone escaping the boat so that they don't have to get drafted with the guys coming out next year. That's the way I'm going to explain.
Yeah.
I graduated from Oral Roberts University. Nice. I'm happy you graduated.
Are we bragging? Like I graduated from Rutgers.
I graduated. Trade down, freak song. Mostly trade down.
Yep.
102.
Yep. Good advice, Joe.
Very good. Hall for sure if you need a running back. That's where I'm at, but I seriously never take someone on someone else's advice. Weigh it by all means, but I always feel better getting it wrong on my own dime, you know. Good idea. I'm gonna try right now. See, most of these comments, you keep panicking about how far behind. They're just talking to each other while we try and catch up. So most of them.
We've
I
made
don't know
up
if you're
6
in the
minutes.
movie draft day, but grab a sticky note and write down Brees Hall no matter what. Yeah, pretty much. for me personally, if I really believe Walker equals Hall, then I trade down. Yeah. Joe's given out the advice before we get to it. It's not fair.
We try and get her
Don't
on
go any
the
lower
freaking
than the
show.
102.
She won't do it.
Many a time. 102, like Joe said. Yep.
She's our emissary in the chat. It's great.
We should give her a title or some sort of special badge so she can answer them before we get down here. Bateman, Sanders, 209 and a 23 second for 23 third and DJ Moore.
I'll take Bateman and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I guess. DJ Moore. I'm sorry, I'm just taking DJ Moore.
It's probably the smart move, but like I feel like you'll be okay to start Bateman and Sanders, and then you get a 23 second, and DJ Moore. Maybe you'll get 3 or 4 games where you'll decidedly outscore Bateman, but
I'm hoping Bateman becomes DJ Moore, and I don't care that much about seconds. That's where I'm at. That's why I said what I said. For when I do my apology tour for not saying take Bateman next year, obviously. Hard pass, man. 1-1 for if you can get anything to move down when that's the reason you're moving down, you just say give me a second. Give me anything. Make this decision easier for me.
Let's go.
Ham sandwiches all around. I count 7 starting QBs taken outside the first round.
Out of 32, which is
out of
not
32.
Not that many.
And then remember, this is about 5 difference makers. And to be fair, the proportion is actually higher because you've got Russell Wilson and Tom Brady in that group.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm thinking 101 for the 102. Come on, guys. Talking to me. Thoughts on pivoting up from Kittle to someone like Schultz? We already covered this one, I believe. I'm condescending sometimes. That is true. Sometimes it's just my tone and the way I talk. Other times I think it's funny, to be fair.
Okay, so I got a message today.
I don't mean to be
saying if you read this, I realized without hearing me giggling in the background, this may have been, seemed mean. The funny part was, I think that message was from like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you archived the chat and it popped up, so I went and read it. I was like, man, that guy sounds like a jerk. Oh, wait, that's me. I better go talk to Russ. I'm mostly trying to be funny, and a lot of times it doesn't hit. I apologize, Joe. Should I move back? 2.06 for the 301 and the 303. 10-team, 1 QB.
Just take your shot at 206. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's me.
It gets real thin back.
Yeah, just take your shot.
Like we said, there are shots down there I want to take, but it's a tier thing.
I'm fading, fellas.
I know, I'm not hurrying. What would you pay to move up from the 107 to the 102? What big. Would I versus what does it take? It's a big jump.
Another late first.
Give it 23 first.
I'm not doing that. Because whatever.
It probably costs a 23 first, and I'm probably not paying it to do that. If you can throw Michael Pittman in there, or whoever is the guy for you who is valuable but not your guy, then sure. But I honestly, straight up, I think that value is too much for me to do it. And there's a second tier after the top 3 first 4 picks. Like Joe was saying, her cutoff line is at 105. And that 105 guy can easily go to the 107 because of the 2022 ADP being pretty wild. So it's not a bad place to be in. And I don't know I paid that much to get up that high. I just accepted a trade. Someone offered me Fant for Logan Thomas plus a 311.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
I probably prefer Fant, but it's fine.
Yeah. I don't really want to play either of them. So.
Logan Thomas is cool. He was lower drafted. I like that kind of thing. 101 plus a 23 second or the 104 and a 23 first.
104 in the first for me.
First. Don't care if it's late.
Yep. It's pain by numbers at this point. Dynasty. Lofty. Thoughts on a trade I had made. 23 first for Tyreek, the 202 and a 23 second. I'm competing this year in a already made two more 23 firsts.
I'd rather have the Tyreek side if you're competing this year.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. No seconds.
Points are good, especially
Points
when
are
competing.
Would you guys prefer Elijah Moore or the 105? That's about where I'm at. I prefer Elijah
Wilson
Moore.
are going to be there. I want Burks or Wilson.
I want the 105.
Also a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, I take Elijah Moore over Wilson. I think that's pretty much 1-on-1 for me. And I'll take the guy I've already seen elevate. I know.
Yeah, I think Wilson's better than Moore, but
okay. In a Superflex 101 and 23 second for Lance.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've done that for Lance.
It's Breece Hall and a second for a quarterback.
Yeah. I would do that.
Yeah. Yep. Russ, you're the man. He certainly is.
Absolutely. Bob emailed us 5 drafts.
Told you.
That's what Russ was. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, that's where that came from. I have 2 mid-seconds, and I'm solid at all positions, but QB and running back. Should I be taking shots at QB behind bad starters like Coral and Hale?
That's the type of team that would be an option. Again, you'd have to see what was there and available. If David Bell falls to the mid-second, I'm probably taking Bell. But I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think I'm still.
There's a lot of dark there. I
think I'm still sticking with. I grab the players I think are more likely to score points.
Yeah.
If kind of policy. Yeah.
You don't have to take Howell in the second, by the way.
I was waiting for this to pop up because I actually had the 501 and 502. So I took Kenny Brooks with the 502 just for you, West Coast.
Half-point PPR, 10-team premium league, trying to trade Waller for a first and 23 pick. Plausible? Plausible, yeah.
You're not going to get that.
You're not going to get You should, but you're not going to get it. Yeah. You weren't getting it before Devontae Adams. You're not getting it now.
Same league, Derek Carr for a first and a second.
Definitely not getting that. You're not getting a first and a second for Derek Carr. I don't believe. I was thrilled to get us first for Derek Carr 2 years ago.
Yeah, but there's a little bit more hype around him getting Adams and stuff. You might be able to get a first. You don't be sad about it.
No, I would do that.
I'd love to get a first and second.
This is one of the holes in the QB John Hogue's QBX. It's like they should be, but they're not. I don't think you're getting it. But by all means, try it. Sure. Thoughts on James Cook? I think we talked about him a lot.
He needs to put on weight.
We'll see a lot about his weight.
James White upside. We don't think he quite get there, but he should definitely be drafted. Not just don't Trey Sermon him. I think those are generally our thoughts. Don't overvalue him. More points this year: Sky Moore or Olave?
I don't know.
I think year as a rookie,
Olave probably has a better path to points.
I think Olave wins in general because I have him ranked higher, so I'll say Olave. But as a rookie, I'm not sure I'm weighing that heavily. I'm hoping they can get close to 600 receiving yards.
You never want to spend on rookie wide receivers, especially for points. So.
Absolutely.
Corral will play a considerable amount in 2022. Riddle will start at least one game.
Wait.
I feel like some of them are going to start games.
Can you see the future? Did he just tell us what's going to happen?
Chandler's just dropped back a little bit. Appreciate that, man. That's going to be real helpful.
What? Oh,
Eric.
Wait, no, because we're too far past Gray Sports Almanac coming out. World.
God, we're old. Eric, 8-team league, 2 quarterback. 8-team, 2 quarterback? Dang. I have Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance, and Carson Wentz. Is drafting Pickett worth spending a top 15 pick? Or should I just stick to wide receivers? In an 8-team league?
I mean, top but 2 quarterbacks, so that means you got 16 starting, and then if everybody's got 3, then you're pretty thin.
If you need 3.
I mean, again, top 15,
If you want
yes.
three.
Would I take him at the 7-ish where he's going in 12 teams? No.
No. Yeah.
There you
But
go.
like, still, are you going to take Cook over Pickett?
No, probably not.
So Pickett probably becomes what the
Well,
the
12th pick
yeah.
around there.
I think that's fair. BJ Lee, I scored 5th highest in my league and easily would have won if I was in the playoffs. I ended up the season scoring third to last. What do I do? Let's see.
You have your
Variance?
commissioner add a roster, a playoff spot for the most points of the teams that are not in. Like that's what Russ does: top 5, and then the 6th team gets in on points.
No,
I
that's
made
fair. There's actually a serious answer there, and you should be discussing that now before the season starts. So carry on.
I started a new league because that's just what I freaking do. And I added a different thing. It's the first 4 based on record. Then it's the 5th one is the most points for not already in. And then it is all play record for the 6th spot after that.
Sounds like a good plan. I was just gonna say variance sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
And
really
that is a problem with the format, but honestly, yeah, that's actually a practical answer. Tim Shady is picking a true first round QB. No, I like we've been saying, I strongly suspect those selected the bottom of the first round are very different breed to those selected in the first 12.
Yeah, and the Steelers themselves admitted that they had 4 first-round grades on
Really?
quarterbacks this year, which the NFL did not. So it seems like they may have reached a little bit.
They do need one. Thoughts on David Bell? Finally, where do you value him in a rookie draft? I value him a little too high. I think
Peter wants him at 104. I think consensus is like 208, and I'll take him at like the 203, 204.
I was about to say, would you hate grabbing David Bell just to make sure you get him at the 112 instead of taking Cook?
No.
But yeah, he's been going in the mid-second in most places.
But I'm taking Sky Moore, Jahan Dotson,
Yes.
Watson over Bell.
Yes.
And then it's a toss-up between Bell and John Mechie.
So yeah, that's around the 201 area, 201, 202.
Like I said, I got him at 203. That's where he's ranked. So
honestly, my favorite way of explaining my feelings on David Bell is a really great guy in my Discord was talking about how his production isn't that dissimilar to Laviska Shenault or Brian Edwards, and I pointed out I had them ranked about the same place in my wide receiver ranks. Like, yeah, there are misses there. He could easily be Shenault. He could easily be Brian Edwards. But in this draft class, I actually see a lack of that kind of production profile where I want David Bell. So I like him a lot. He definitely missed us. So I don't want to jump up and take him in that top tier. But I will take, after that top first 2 tiers go, like I want my guy. And so I've got him ranked high.
Landing in Cleveland is not a bad place. 3rd round capital's not bad. Like, it's fine. It's
That's why.
Send Bob the link to the StreamYard after the show.
Send me the link to the Yard stream. We're old. The show I wonder. Yeah, sure. Williams 104, Moore 110, Cook 13. Really happy about. Yeah, it sounds like that draft went really well actually. Just want to thank you for the advice. First year Dynasty player last year after drafting Allen Robinson, Brandon, Christian McCaffrey. Rough year for you, buddy, to introduce you to the sport. But seriously, man, that's not just your first year. Especially Christian McCaffrey type injuries. And Brandon and I really did come on towards the end. You kind of looked out there. Allen Robinson isn't dead. But yeah, I'm more than welcome in. Like Joe says, sometimes I sound condescending and you just tell me to shut up because I ain't no better than any of you. I just like talking. Thanks for the help, guys. Always enjoy the stream. Thanks, man. I really enjoy being here, to be honest. In a 14-team 1 QB league, I traded the 113, the 203, and Sony Michel for a 23 first. Could be a top 5. That gives me 5 23 firsts.
Winner.
And I'm not trying to, be disrespectful to those asking questions. I can just already see Russ forming a committee to burn me at the stake if I don't get towards the end soon. So. He's mean off camera. You don't even know.
I'm trying, Peter.
He's been asleep.
Bullies me so hard.
20 minutes.
I think we already listed this, Tim, earlier. We were mentioning the running backs that we might trade those mid-first round picks for, and I think that list fits in well here. I also think Russ mentioned Khalil Herbert was actually a pretty good, deeper example of a running back we wouldn't mind adding for almost nothing. Since you're mentioning Marlon Mack and Justin Jackson, I think that's a name I'm going to throw out at you. If anyone else has anything different, you just step right on in. Lexi, 10-team 1 QB, only have Juju, MVS, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Corey Davis, Ridley, you don't have much. Got players I like because they're undervalued, and that's a bad position to be in. Crazy Draft Sky when I have Juju MVS. No, it's not crazy to draft Sky because of players you already have rostered.
Yeah, draft the best players.
I don't know if Sky is going to be your best pick for my particular ranks, but don't do that. It's okay. Just get the guy you want. Don't worry about that so much.
I don't mind
in
him.
Dynasty.
I don't mind him at 108.
I don't mind him there at all. Moving on. I like him. Have teams inquiring on Amari. That's good. Should I be moving off of him? Depends on the trade, Lofty. Good question. I think if you have teams in your league interested in him, I would be willing to consider those trades. He's at that point in his career where there are not much value left. There's just points. So if you can get a first, 23 first, you should strongly consider it. But I do like Amari for this year, so don't just throw it away, Here's the thing about 2023 rookie QBs. The odds of them walking into a starting job are low. Yes. Or the only teams that might be looking to draft a quarterback. I feel like this comment came in before the draft. Like they've been drafted.
But he just listed 7 teams. That's like a quarter of the league. So
get out of here.
Yeah.
2 is good.
Spot analysis.
No way.
2 is good. Damn it. Trade for Tua. No, seriously. Tim Shady. Trey Sermon was a trap last year. Is Davis Price this year's trap? I hope he's not being taken that highly. If he is, then yes, he is.
This year's trap because he snuck into the first round when he shouldn't have.
This year, the trap is James Cook. I like James Cook, but he's the trap.
Yep.
Any of those running backs you're drafting above Rashod Bateman or even Spiller, like towards the end of that first round, are probably the trap this year. There are more traps than there are treats this year. We're back to regular scheduled programming. Like last year was a nice vacation from it. Now we got to remember the pain of rookie drafts. Median scoring fixes that.
Victor, when we were talking about the variance,
right. No,
I just go by height.
Victory points.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I'm the shortest out of the 3 of us. That's weird.
I think so. We did this last time.
I'm shorter. I'm weirdly short. You're 6'2", he's 6'1", I'm 6.
I do still got Connor, by the way.
See, that was 3. Connor's going to show up now.
We never doubted it. Guitar Rick, what do you think it would take to get Kyle Pitts or Justin Jefferson in a trade? 3 first round
that person wants.
Yeah, a lot.
And at least 2 of them in 2023. Thanks, guys. You guys are the tits. Appreciate that. I don't know which one's the left, which one's the right, and which one's the head, but I assume I'm one of the tits. I appreciate that, man. What is Devonta Parker worth? Kind of nothing, generally talking about in Dynasty, but a second-round pick.
Could be the Patriots wide receiver 1, Peter. I know you're Kendrick Bourne love.
2. Behind Kendrick Bourne.
No problem.
Yeah, he's not worth it.
It doesn't change it. London or Burks? Personally, Burks.
Burks.
That's how I have it ranked.
Unless we're talking travel, and then I'd rather go to London.
Davis Price was the worst pick in the draft according to that franchise guy on YouTube. I don't know who that is, but I feel like we agree on this. I don't know. There are worse picks, actually. I think there were worse picks.
The worst pick in the draft was whoever the Patriots took in whatever round they were drafting.
Tyquan Thornton and...
It seriously seems purposeful at this point. It's like, I'm going to screw this pick up so bad.
Hey, we've taken running backs for 3 years in a row. Let's draft 2 this year to really cement it.
It's worked out.
This time we mean it, guys.
We got a quarterback who can't throw 20 yards down the field. Let's take the fastest guy whose only route is a 9 route. All right, I'm not bitter. I spent the last 20 years reveling in success.
You're past bitter. You are straight
That's fair. You have enough Super Bowls to relive the memories of, okay? 23 first for Burks, plus what? 12 team Superflex. I think Burks straight up for the 23 verse. That's those top 3 picks in my line.
Yeah. I'd probably rather have the first, but yeah.
That's fair. Appreciate that, Guitar Rick. Total Recall completely just...
That was my immediate thought, but I was like, no, it's still before midnight, so we haven't crossed over into that.
Oh, I said it out
loud. One last question. I doubt that. Would you draft Damian Price, Pierce, Isaiah Spiller, or Tyler Algier since Mike Davis was cut? I noticed that. He turned into a free agent so I could remove him from my ranks and stop DLF being mad at me for not ranking O. Smith.
Spiller, Pierce, Algier.
Spiller, Gap, Pierce, Algier. I'm not really overly interested in rostering Pierce for Algier.
I think Pierce is actually going to be.
I was going to ask you.
Listen,
is that the guy that you actually like?
I prefer Spiller as a player. I think you have a better chance of Pierce getting hype, Pierce getting volume early because there is no one in that Houston backfield.
It is, yeah.
Don't point at me. No, not Marlon Mack. No.
I loved him when he came in.
Peter we had a long conversation where he was very Marlon Mack and I don't know.
They called him Marlon man. Marlon.
I don't even remember why I ended up with so many Marlon Mack shares, but then I just wrote it into saying that he was great.
You know what? I'm really disappointed in myself. I never did. I'm going to do this now because he's in the Houston backfield and he's coming off the surgery. I'll do Return of the Mac.
All right. Yeah. Honestly, one of my patrons asked me about Dameon Pierce. Why is he in rank, basically? I was like, because I'm not really that interested. And then I went and looked and realized he went to Houston, and I had the exact same thought that you just had better than I did. It's like, I mean, he's probably going to touch the ball, right? He's probably going to touch the ball.
And there are enough people who are smarter than I am who like Dameon Pierce. Like there are. So it'll be interesting. I think to me right now I've got them back to back. Pierce and Spiller. I'd rather have Mitchell, especially where they didn't pick up Jacobs.
The answer
got a lot more interesting after the draft,
would have been Josh Jacobs, but they're showing that they just don't like him anymore.
Well, it's the new coaching regime,
right? New staff and everything,
and it's like Josh McDaniels. Having watched Josh McDaniels be an offensive coordinator for a while, is full on committee and doesn't value running backs. So that's where you're at with Jacobs. I like Jacobs probably for this sheet. Well, maybe it's Mitchell anyway. Richard, it's Mitchell.
Yeah, it's Mitchell.
Younger. Probably has that backfield for longer.
I think it's fairly equal for me. I think Mitchell has more upside because we see in San Francisco running back do that consistently, if healthy, have more upside. Josh Jacobs is a top 12 guy, so that's not saying nothing.
Yeah, Jacobs, if he gets to play, will still be Jason Witten.
Yeah, I like that.
I would say Elijah Mitchell can have the rug pulled on him faster, but Josh Jacobs is at that point in his career where we're almost starting to feel that way. So yeah, probably it's just Mitchell. Am I crazy for thinking Juju can be great this season? No, Pat, you are not.
Don't say that out loud.
Genius. You're my favorite.
He's going to be a value because everybody's talking about Sky Moore. Like Juju's going to be a value. It's going to be fun. Unfortunately, Justin Watson will be their wide receiver one.
Honestly, that's going to be the stupidest thing I'm going to have done this offseason, and there are a lot, is liking Juju before the draft. Like, I should have just started after the draft.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Like, no. Like, Juju all the way.
What a weird pick.
Shh, you woke Russ. I didn't.
Yes, it was all the Juju talk. He came back.
I come back for Juju talk. But I'm going to bed now.
Yes, sir. Thanks for hanging in with us as long as you could there, Russ. Oh, wait. Well, you have a really big question. Just want to read this one real quick for me.
This hurts. I shouldn't have done this. I'm stuck. My knees hit the back of the desk. I can't move.
2024 for Waddle. Yes, Waddle.
We are
absolutely Waddle.
Yeah, it's Waddle all day. Yeah. Every one of these moments has been a great dry cut. Just like drop the end video here, and I just haven't done it because I just keep wanting to see more.
Yeah, absolutely Waddle, because you're going after it this year, and next year with the 23 first. Yeah, absolutely good get, Richard. I don't care
if that was a 23, then I think it would be closer because we have some expectation. But 24 is just kind of a mystery, too far away thing.
Plus, you look at the rest of his team. He says he's got 423 first. He's got Dak, Lance, Mahomes, CD, Chase, Jefferson, Waddle, Ayuk, Pitts. Like, we're going after. We're going to win the next 2 years. So don't even worry about that 24 first. Do it. Go get Waddle and run. You handcuff? No, I handcuff other people's running backs.
I try to handcuff other people's running backs. That's a process. There's a good reason for it. The edge is smaller than some people suggest, though. Yep. It's like people really went after John Hogue for just pointing out that it's not necessary, and it's not 100% necessary.
People went after Hogue because
in Dynasty
he went up against JJ.
Yeah. In Dynasty, it's actually not. It's actually the edge is slightly smaller because in Dynasty the handcuff is not sitting on your waiver wire.
Yeah. Right.
And so there's a slight edge. It's a little more even. But yeah, definitely you try and handcuff other people's running backs.
But Paul, the answer to this question is not worrying about the handcuffs necessarily, like whose handcuffs they are, but your back end of your roster ought to be running backs because they have that upside.
That's actually the answer. Yeah. Don't worry about whose handcuffs they are. You should be rostering more running backs than you are comfortable with. And if you love running backs, you're going to have to roster a lot of running backs. Yeah. That's fine too. Is it ethically bad if you professionally tank a season to get better picks next year?
As long as it's not against your league rules, go for it. Yeah. And you say professionally tank. Are you talking like you just have a bad roster? Because that's fine. If you're sandbagging starting lineups or not starting people, that gets a little more ethically questionable.
Yeah.
But I would think that you would have bylaws for that. So whatever's legal, all is fair. Go get it.
If you're doing it within the rules, you absolutely should be allowed to go for the better pick.
Yep.
Definitely. That's why there are rules and rules and bylaws and whatever they call those things. I don't know. So on a team that trades Jacobs for Mitchell, even with Lance and Ayuk already on it.
Doesn't matter who's on your team.
It doesn't matter who's on your team, but also trading straight up position is.
Or was that what that was?
Yeah, it's the Jacobs and Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it one of those win-lose trades that I try to avoid. I'd like both teams to benefit from a trade, but do you? 12 teams who flex. Do you think someone can make a playoff run with Jameis, Russell, and Trey Lance?
No, you're going to need a lot more
on the rest of the roster. On your roster. I'm probably going to need some running backs, some wide receivers.
Your tight ends are good, though.
On the same field as almost everyone else.
You're fine there. I would say these quarterbacks could easily be, you're not quarterback. You're not too poor a quarterback that it stops you.
If Lance ends up as the starter in San Francisco, you are absolutely fine. If he doesn't, you're still probably fine.
Yeah. But yeah, Russ is right. Probably need more players. Appreciate you guys. I'm no longer trying to trade away Juju. Not his current value. Someone offers you the moon. Richard Davis. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. You too. Thank you, Richard. I currently have 13 running backs. You're probably good. Taylor, and then not much.
But you never know. Like, again, you don't know. Last year, Elijah Mitchell wasn't much.
Mm-hmm. That's the way you play it, honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
Buying 2 top 12 running backs is often way too cost prohibitive. So you try and get one, and then you just keep filling your roster until you find Elijah Mitchell. Go follow Bosch. He studies bylaws to find the loopholes. Yeah, honestly, Bosch is the one who told me that.
Yeah.
That should be Bosch's new
John
show.
Bosch. At John Bosch.
Find the loopholes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Just in case anyone wasn't sure.
Look over there.